powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Let's go. It's time for Sedano and Cap.
A little sabor, and we're going to just nosh.
It is George Sedano. It is Scott Kaplan. Sedano and Cap is on for your Wednesday afternoon.
I'm going to have to say respectfully, I'm going to disagree.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know.
Here we go, Wednesday, July 2nd, 4th of July week, and the Lakers make some fireworks from free agency. Finally, day 3. And Deandre Ayton, the big man, is coming to the purple and gold. We talked about it yesterday afternoon. What does it all mean? Will Deandre Ayton show up for practice and for games and stuff? That's what we're going to find out. Beto Duran, the Cisco Kid, sitting in for Cappy, who texts now first more than anybody because he misses us. He's got FOMO. He wishes he was here talking free agency, sucker.
Oh.
I'm on with Sedano.
Followers.
Yamaliava, because I thought it was like I'm a leaving.
A duck butt. What is that?
Let's do it for a Wednesday afternoon. The LA Afternoon Drive takeover.
Say Jerusalem cherry.
He likes to lay the wood.
Yeah.
You say Kikuchi.
Wacky forced radio stunt of the year.
Christopher can go to hell. Oh, nothing worse than the horse. Nah, man, black don't crack.
Benjamin Pratt is like,
How do you say his name? Asminger?
Asminger. Hey, these hard knocks guys, they're all over me right now. It's like I'm back in Dayton. You are a bit killer. Because you got to talk about sperm? I mean, look at me. I'm a hot piece of ass. I mean, look at him.
Oh, man, I didn't know they come up on the glass.
Like a French bread, do you eat the butt?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, me too.
I don't.
Yeah. So do you guys,
you eat that butt? Okay.
I love it. The heel, the butt, all of it.
Sedano and Cap, your Wednesday afternoon right now.
Bee-ba-da-ba. Ooh. Boom-ba-da-ba. Yeah. Doom-ba-da-ba.
Ooh la la. Cappy's still on vacation. Lots of FOMO.
He texts some. We have so many group chats. I don't even know which is which anymore. We have Beto Don't Shut Up. We have Ball Knowers. And we have the traditional Sedano and Cap group thread. He was texting in one of them today, was he not? Like he was responding to one of them?
Beto Shut Up.
Oh, was that one?
Yeah, there's not much action in that one. Usually just when I work.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cappy was
he was
very
like
active.
Liking something or responded to something I saw, yeah.
Yeah, he
He said, that's it, champs.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, I've already said what I need to say about DeAndre Ayton, okay?
Yep.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, you guys can let me have it. But here's my thing on him. He's going to have one good game out of every, 4.
Yep.
And that one game's going to entice you at the beginning. And you're going to be like, oh, you see, he's got something. They can make him something. JJ, Luka, LeBron can make him something. And then he's going to turn into who he is. And you're going to start to get frustrated that it's 1 out of every 4. And here we are. There's a reason teams literally gave up on him. Now, the other options weren't that great.
Correct.
So I get it.
That's our best. We'll take it.
It is what
That's
it
what's
is
available.
in that regard. So I'm willing to admit that. But I don't love the deal, Beto.
DeAndre.
You don't even like it.
Ayton,
yeah, I don't even like it. Yeah, that's true.
When you look what's available, he's the best available, and you take that, right? When you're drafting, it's like, okay, who's the best available on the board? I get it. But you're right. When somebody gives up on you, when Portland would rather pay you to go away than to hang out on your team, and he's 7 foot. We've said it the last couple of days. I'm not a DeAndre Ayton fan because when the Lakers played the Blazers this year, he would sometimes show up every other possession. And then watching Portland throughout the season because I like Scoot Henderson. I want to see how he would develop. So when you would watch him on League Pass, there was some days where Ayton was giving you 30 minutes, other days where he's giving you 18 or less than. And Chauncey Billups just looks so frustrated with him most of the time. You know, I know a couple of people that were on the player development side with the Blazers, and they were saying 7 foot, so much talent, so much potential. But when you've been in the league for that long, George, at what point are you done with your potential? And this is exactly what you are.
Correct.
You're a 7-footer who's now going to be bouncing around from team to team.
Yeah.
If he was Deandre Ayton, getting that big contract.
If he was dominating.
Hey, if he was that guy.
He has not lived up to that name.
He would not be available. Last year, remember Funch?
Thank you.
Come on, Alex Len is available, guys. Go get him.
No.
No. This is what we'd get towards the end of the season. Lakers got Alex Len, and he sucked. Why? Because there's a reason teams don't want you.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying he's Alex Len. I'm just saying
he's 26, right?
He's 26, a 7-footer who has so much potential, and the memes are going around of so many plays of DeAndre Ayton watching the ball. Can the Laker organization possibly change him? Yes. Could a change of scenery help? Yes. Could play for LeBron and Luka help him? You would hope so. But at the end of the day, it's got to be up to him to be the guy who's going to put in the work. The guy who's going to show up at 5 o'clock and do the early workouts.
Wait, isn't he the guy who didn't show up to a game because it was too cold or there was too much snow?
No, he was iced in. He was
iced in.
And that happens. I mean, they don't get ice a ton in Portland. Like they get it a couple times a year. And he was iced in. He didn't know how to deal with it. Like I don't have an issue with that part of it.
But he's also the guy who would be late for team flights.
Right.
The guy who would not listen to team
Jason
rules.
Quick isn't. We should get Jason Quick on.
He's fantastic.
Find a way to get Jason Quick on the show. I think he's great. And honestly, if he'd come on today, I'd take it. Like, seriously.
He probably would.
Jason Quick, I don't have a number for him, but I'll text somebody to find out if I can get it.
And Quick is locked in with the Blazers, been covering them for so many years, and he never gets anything wrong when it comes to the Blazers.
Yeah. I would love to have Jason Quick on. I don't have his number.
Let me text somebody.
Who's the guy who was here that's now in Portland?
Bill Oram. I just texted him.
Text Bill Oram for Jason Quick's number. Yes, thank you. And tell him I say hello. Hi, DeAndre. What's going on? So, DeAndre, what do you think of DeAndre?
Look, it's like what Beto was saying, man. Hopefully he comes into this Lakers organization and he's ready to work. He doesn't come with that same, lazy, lackadaisical mindset. He actually embraces that 5-man role and wants to work with Luka Doncic and actually wants to make something happen. I mean,
and if he does that, you got him at a bargain. That's a steal.
But I don't see him as a traditional. Everyone's saying, he could be a great lob threat. He's not a traditional lob threat.
He's not.
They try to, I was listening to, Mason Island. They're saying that they're comparing him to, Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively in a situation Luka Doncic had. I'm like, those are two. We're talking about totally different types of play styles.
Correct.
Like, they're legit verticality lob threats compared to DeAndre Ayton, who likes the mid-post, who likes to kind of come off the dribble. And
likes to shoot at
likes
the
to
elbow.
Shoot at the elbow.
Yep.
He comes out a little bit on the, in the wings, and likes to space the floor out. He's not really going to be a guy that likes to bang down low like that. And so I'm just hoping that, because the real thing is the Lakers wanted someone who is a legit rim protector, someone who
He's
rim
not
runs.
that either.
It is not that. He's not a rim runner either.
He's actually a poor rebounder for his size, too. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'll never forget one of his coaches in Phoenix, okay, had to urge him, show him, hey, man, you're like one of the bottom percentile guys at your position rebounding. And then he got motivated to rebound. But it's like you literally have to, push him to things. And it's like, bro, you are a professional, man. Let's go.
And there should be no reason to have to motivate you. They shouldn't have to go in the back. Come on, DeAndre. Let's go, man. Let's go out there. We need you, man.
Number one pick.
He needs to have that. He needs to come out there with motivation for himself. He's playing. He's playing basically for an extension. He's got to play the way that he can look for the foreseeable future to have a bigger contract.
He in December last year, the Lakers went up there to Portland, crushed the Lakers. He had maybe 18, 19 boards, was on fire offensively. So I'm thinking, okay, he might have turned it around. Shows up here in January. That game in January 2nd, against the Lakers, he had 6 and 6. That's what he is. He'll get you an 18 and 19 game, then he'll get you a 6 and 6 game.
Can I play this clip real quick with McMiniman? He was on with Mason Island yesterday, and this is what he had to say about
yesterday before the deal was announced.
Yesterday.
Yeah, so you get the truth here.
And then if I have my druthers, I'm trading for someone. Deandre Ayton would be my break glass in case of emergency. And quite frankly, I would almost be as comfortable coming back with Jackson Hayes than,
coming back as opposed to
as Deandre Ayton.
Is part of that because The Athletic had a deep dive on this. Ayton has been, I'll be kind here by using this word, unreliable.
Yeah, I don't think he is as professional as he hasn't shown the level of professionalism that the Lakers have as a standard of their basketball program.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's right. That's a nice way of putting it. Yes.
He legit said he'd rather have
Jackson
Hayes.
freaking Hayes.
Lindsay, I just sent you Bill Orum's, Quick's number. We got
Beat you to it, but thank you.
All right.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's
teamwork right here.
Let's go.
You had the sound ready. You found Jason Quick. You found Jason Quick.
We're on it.
They must have an athletic database because I asked Jason Lloyd, so they must have everyone in the.
Yeah. I went straight to Portland. But I'm looking up his numbers last year, George. There was a game where he had 11 and 13. Bam! And then 6 and 6. And then 2 and 8. And then 14 and 4. This is against Dallas and Brooklyn and the Clippers. It's frustrating. The reason I really found out how frustrating he was last year, because I would use him on Prize Picks, and I'm thinking, he had a fun game.
Yeah.
Let's go. Nope. And I got burned 3 times after that. Never again.
Yeah.
Never again.
Well, at least he's available on Prize Picks, because if he wasn't even available to pick, then that would be really problematic.
That's a good point. He can get you the boards.
Oh, you know what I'm going to do too? I'm going to reach out to Tom Haberstroh, who's my favorite analytics numbers guy, and get his thoughts on Ayton if he can come on.
Oh, we're all over the place right now.
And we got Bobby Marks coming in at 5.
Let's go. Was it 2 years, $8.3 million for him? For Ayton? That's what the deal ended up being? So
that's crazy that, that's all they have, and that's all they had to spend.
Yeah. The 2 mid-levels. Hey, LaRavia. Let's go.
Jake LaMotta.
Raging Bull. But look, the Lakers got a guy who's available, and you're just hoping that he can buy into what the purple and gold is all about. If he can get that, it's a steal.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of ifs. And yesterday I saw your boy Udonis Haslam after the show. Remember, do you have that clip what he said last night, DeAndre?
You had to roll your ass to the basket.
So good. So I went downstairs with Chris. We went to get a salad. After DeAndre and I did a little top secret work here, I see UD walking out of the TV building. And I'm like, hey, UD, I don't know him at all. Hey, good job on TV yesterday. Oh, thanks, man. Keeps on walking. And then as he about 2 feet away, I was like, roll your ass to the basket.
You had to roll your ass to
Turns
the basket.
around. That's right. That's right.
That's funny. That's great. That's hilarious.
But I didn't drop my work with Sedano or anything like that.
You should have.
No.
It's my guy.
No.
Anyway, all right.
A lot of stuff going on, man.
We'll get some stuff.
We got USA, Guatemala soccer coming up at 4.
I know.
Woo!
Yeah. They beat the Ticos the other day.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. We're going to continue on this Ayton stuff. Bobby Marks is going to stop by at 5 o'clock. Mark Spears will stop by probably in the 5 o'clock hour, too. We're going to try to get Jason Quick on from Portland, from The Athletic, who had the DeAndre Ayton story about how it all went south there. Maybe Tom Haberstroh will join us to give us a numbers crunch on Ayton and his career and where it projects moving forward and what he thinks about the fit with the Lakers. We are wall to wall. Free agency ain't over yet.
Whoa.
Okay?
Damn.
And maybe in what you need to know, we'll talk about Clayton Kershaw for a second or something. I don't know, in one of the games or whatever. I know he's getting 3,000.
History.
See, another reason why I couldn't go today. We're knee deep in DeAndre Ayton talk today.
And it was also $98 to get in right now, so we're not going.
Yeah, it's expensive.
We ain't going.
Bobblehead night, right?
Yamamoto bobblehead history, but we got DeAndre Ayton.
Yamamoto. Yeah. Hey, real quick, wake up, LA, and start your day like a champ. That's right. That's the kind of energy we need, right? That's exactly what's on Jacob and Ronnie's new billboard. We all have things we carry, whether it's stress, busy schedule, or something serious like recovering from an accident. If you get into an accident, you call Jacob at 844-24-JACOB, 844-24-JACOB. Tell him Sedano, Mason, and the crew at 710 send you. But champions show up anyway, and that's Jacob. They fight for themselves. They fight for what's right, and you can be that too. Jacob and Ronnie has been showing people across L.A. since the 90s how you can do that. And if you've been hurt and the system feels overwhelming, the law offices of Jacob and Ronnie steps in and makes it simple. He takes over those harassing insurance company phone calls, the medical referrals, the bills, the appointments, everything, so you can breathe again, so you can move like a champ, not just survive the day. And here's the deal. You only pay if Jacob wins your case. So call him at 844-24-JACOB. Tell him Sedano, Mason, and the crew at 710 send you. So if you're waking up and feeling behind, remember, you've still got it in you. Start your day like a champ. And if you ever need help, you know to call Jacob. Save this number on your phone, 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB, or visit them online at calljacob.com and find out why championship teams like the Rams, Lakers, and LAFC trust Jacob and Ronnie's championship team. Follow Jacob as well at calljacob.com, as I mentioned, on Instagram for daily reminders that just hit you when you need them.
And the Lakers finally get a big man. Day 3 of NBA free agency brings Deandre Ayton to the purple and gold. We're talking about it all afternoon on the home of the purple and gold.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
These offers will blow you away during the Red, White, and Vroom sales event at Ocean Subaru of Fullerton. Get a complimentary gift when you purchase a new vehicle, like a Solo stove cooler and mobile AC, Blackstone outdoor griddle, Turtle Box speaker, or a $500 Visa gift card. For complete details, visit OceanSubaruOC.com or come into Ocean Subaru on Euclid Street in Fullerton.
Approved credit through Subaru Motors Finance. Not all buyers of vehicles will qualify. Choice of gift at dealer discretion. Must not exceed $500. Offers do not combine and are not valid on previous purchases. See dealer for complete details. Expires 7/06/25.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Flashy discounts, gimmicky sales? Don't fall for it. At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, we give you honest, wholesale pricing all year long. No bogus markups, no tricks, just the best floors at the best prices. Call 866-62-FLOOR. No sale beats wholesale. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, check them out at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
For the best prices on hardwood carpet and more, call 866-62-FLOOR.
Have you checked out the new Park West Bicycle Casino? Only 9 miles from downtown LA, right off the 710? The bike has been reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and 200 table games. On July 1st and July 15th, buy in for $100 and get $100 in Lucky Chips plus $50 in free play chips. ESPN listeners get $30 in match play when they walk in and say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino. Real cards, real prizes, real close.
Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER. GER-001291, 001289, 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
And it is Sedano and Kap, your Wednesday afternoon, 4th of July week, Deandre Ayton week. And on this day back in 1997, one of the 2 movies I waited in line for back as a youth. Yes, on this day in 1997, Men in Black. The original was released in theaters. Let's play title track, Jack. Sedano and Kap continues with Beto, your Wednesday afternoon right now.
Look at you, DeAndre. Work it. Chat's a little spicy with you two.
Man, they're coming at me.
A lot of people loving DeAndre Ayton. Say, what's not to love about 16-11? The fact that he does it every 5 games. That's the fact to love.
Just stat watching.
The fact that he got paid to go away.
This is Peter Acevedo, who he's interesting. I'm telling you, DeAndre, playing for the Lakers is completely different than playing for the Portland Trailblazers and the Phoenix Suns. Come on now. You should know that.
Let me tell you
They're
something.
coming at me in the YouTube
Lakers
chat.
culture. Lakers culture here, DeAndre.
Let me tell you something.
Peter
He played with Chris Paul, okay? Nobody rides people harder than Chris Paul, okay?
Exactly what I said.
So much so that his teammates generally tend to hate him in a lot of ways, okay? Not all of them, but some of them. Like SGA loved him, okay?
Got to be a certain
Young
kind of guy.
guys generally tend to love him. But like Chris Paul was, and by the way, it wasn't just Chris Paul. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, these guys are like Chris Paul's a Hall of Famer, okay? Devin Booker is a 2-time gold medalist, okay? Was in a finals with this guy, and they were like, over it. Like, over it. Chauncey Billups is a finals MVP, okay? And I think has done a really good job with a very young roster. The second half of the season, they were very good last year.
Yeah, they got better.
Okay? And they gave up on him. Like, that's not, I don't care what your Lakers culture you think it is.
And we don't even know what the culture is right now.
Correct. Okay? Yes, Luka will make him better if he's willing to do the things, by the way, that he hasn't been willing to do.
So run to the rim or instead of backing up?
Rebound, defend, set screens, roll to the basket.
Do you think he maybe won't throw chairs because he's on the Lakers?
All I'm saying is, like,
Just
look,
curious.
man, I hope I'm wrong. But
Yes,
I'm telling
me
you.
too.
Well, so did the Trailblazers.
I'm just telling you, Beto brings up the best point. This team literally, forget about giving up on him. They drafted 2 centers in back-to-back drafts. Like, what does that tell you?
4 centers on the roster right now. 4.
Right, and they got Robert Williams III.
Exactly.
They got Time Lord too. And they gave up on him.
Walrus says, is it possible this is the wake-up call the guy needs? He's 26. Why do you need a wake-up call? You've been a pro this long.
I mean, if you haven't got it by now, man, you've been in the league 7 years.
Look, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. But I'm just telling you, if he doesn't get it here, his career's over. Like, he's a minimum guy from here on out. So I get what they're saying.
Yeah.
This is it. This is what I would call an inflection point in his career. If it doesn't happen here, it is over for him in regards to, like, actually being a viable player.
In regards to everyone saying, like, maybe he knows this is the last move of his career. Well, I can't help but, like, keep seeing the stories that were written about him that all described him as having a complete lack of self-awareness.
Yeah.
And that says all you need to know right there.
It's not that hard to show up on time for a flight.
Having no self-awareness, and he doesn't know his place on the team, you know?
All right, here's another one. The Blazers are a poverty franchise. Come on now. Horrible use of an example from Almighty Way.
Poverty franchise.
Isn't that where you should be
You
thriving?
can't say that and then also list his stats and say that, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah. I hope it works. And also, considering what's out there or what wasn't out there for that price for what the Lakers could afford and could go get, he's your best option. It's good.
Isn't it more of a disaster if you don't get him, though?
Oh, absolutely. But you have no choice.
You have to.
You
You kind of have to, right?
Again, this is what's available. You go and you get him. You get the 26-year-old instead of the 38-year-old guy, right? Instead of the guy who really is washed up. But this is what the Lakers have done to themselves from the front office from what they can't get. They can't go and get the big marquee name. You're hoping a guy could be a reclamation project and turn it around. But that's hoping. And J.J. Redick doesn't have time to hold somebody's hand. J.J. Redick doesn't have time to coddle somebody. You saw J.J. last year. If you weren't performing, you weren't playing. Hell, he didn't play anybody in the second half because he didn't trust guys.
Remember when he screamed at Dalton Connect?
He screamed at a lot of guys
I know,
last
but
year.
remember that specifically? Can you imagine?
Yeah. Again, I hope it works.
Where you have the cut of, like, JJ, what was it? Was it during the playoffs where he got caught by the mic?
Yeah.
Jesus, bleeping. Bleep.
Oh, now even our own people are putting it up. Who's back there? Is that Parker or is that Parker? The only player in NBA history to average 15 points and 60 or more percentage shooting in the postseason. Parker, get out of here with that. We can find all kinds of numbers and make you look good.
Exactly.
Here's one right here. 2 points. How about that? Against Minnesota. How about this? He didn't play a lot last year. He got hurt. Right? He got hurt. He missed a lot of games last year. A lot of February, a lot of March.
But Sedano mentioned that the Trailblazers were better in the second half. Yeah, they're better when they started playing Donovan Clingan, the rookie that they have a lot of trust in right now, who they're trying to make their true big man.
Well, I'm looking at his game log last year.
Don't. It's gonna
I
hurt.
did know. I looked
It's
at
gonna
it.
hurt.
He had a 2020 game towards the end of the season.
He did. And before that, he had the 8-7 game.
Yeah. Well, 20.
He should wake up and get 10 and 12, right?
You should.
Waking up, that's easy. Fudge, you were there a couple of times. Oh, no, you didn't get there early enough with me. No, for the preseason.
Yes.
When he's warming up and just goes through the motions. Like, you see some dudes that work hard for their warm-ups.
Yeah.
What is he doing? Is he sitting out?
No, he's there. He goes sometimes.
But he's like just lumbering around, not like putting for full speed or whatever.
Not at all. You're not going to get max effort from this guy.
Not regularly. I mean, look, man.
There'll be some nights where you're going to be like, oh, Beto, shut up.
Yes.
There will be. And I hope they're more often than not.
You will have some of those nights. It's like 1 out of every 4. He has been in the league 7 years. Okay? This will be year 8. There is not a ton of precedent for guys changing their care factor, motor at this stage of their career. I'm not saying it's impossible because, as you know, I'm not an absolutist. However, it is very rare. Okay? Not a ton of precedent is what I would say.
Beto in the post.
So the mongrels are still mad?
Yeah, well, just as Acevedo.
They're mad mongrels.
They're furious in
So
there.
here's a good one for Acevedo. Next year, Beto in the postgame is going to be glazing Deandre. Watch. Yeah, if he puts up numbers, I have no problem giving people credit.
Correct.
I have no problem telling you shut me up. Well, then do it. Because right now, he didn't do a damn thing. He's a guy with $8.3 million, and he got paid to go away. Shut me up. I have no problem admitting I was wrong. I have no problem saying mea culpa. No problem at all saying I'm wrong. But until then, what have you done for me lately? Nothing.
What have you done for me lately?
Hey, if you want a break, Jason Quick said he can join us if we call him in like 5 minutes.
Okay, let's do it. Let's go to break. Jason Quick from The Athletic, who has covered Deandre Ayton in Portland and wrote that recent story, next.
And the Lakers finally get a big man. Day 3 of NBA free agency brings Deandre Ayton to the purple and gold. We're talking about it all afternoon on the home of the purple and gold.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
Hey guys, you feel it? The days are getting longer, the sun is getting warmer. Looks like our SoCal summer is here. And you know, here in California, we are all about choosing chill. From hitting the beach to the best hiking trails to going all out to support our teams, one thing really ties it all together: enjoying an icy cold Coors Light with great friends. Pick up icy cold Coors Light near you or get it delivered to your door today. Visit CAChooseChill.com to learn more. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly and cheers with icy cold Coors Light.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
And it is Sedano and Kap your Wednesday afternoon. On this day back in 1991, Boys in the Hood was released in theaters. What you know, DeAndre, about Boys in the Hood? And on this day in 1988, the #1 hit, Michael Jackson, Dirty Diana. Sedano and Kap continues your Wednesday afternoon with Beto right now.
Dirty Diana! No, you know nothing about this, DeAndre.
Oh, it's a good song right here, man. Michael Jackson, come on, man.
Jamming. This is a rock in the background, too. The guitar, electric guitar.
Yeah.
This is old school right here. This was like 90s Michael.
Changing things up.
80s Michael. This is 80s Michael.
Late 80s?
Dirty Diana?
Yeah, this
late
is late 80s. This is a bad album.
89 then, right?
Funchy knows.
Yeah, I'm a Michael Jackson connoisseur. I know.
Okay.
I was named after Michael Jackson.
Were you?
Seriously, I was. That's what my mom told me.
Okay. Good for
Believe
you.
my mom.
87, actually. Well, I thought that was 1990. Look at that. Yeah, it is on the Bad album. Look at you, Funch. I'm never going to doubt you again.
Thank you.
Not with Michael Jackson.
Okay. I'm here.
So anyway, all right, Jason Quick is on the line. All right, Jason Quick of The Athletic joins us here on 710 ESPN. Jason, first of all, George Sedano here, Beto Duran with us as well. Big fan of your work. I've always read your stuff. I love your feature stuff particularly. Yep. But for today, we here in Los Angeles are obviously very interested in some of the reporting you've done on Deandre Ayton. So how would you best describe what you witnessed and discussed with sources and whatnot about Deandre Ayton's last stop in Portland?
Well, I think the best way to describe it is, and I think the people in Phoenix can attest to this as well, is I don't think DeAndre's a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad player, but he's always going to leave you wanting more. He's just an underachiever. And, in Portland, he played 2 years, and his first year was really rocky. He was late to a bunch of team functions, be it practices, planes, rehab assignments. He threw tantrums when he was taken out of the game, either, slamming the bench, throwing his water bottle, or back in the locker room, throwing tantrums. So he was really difficult. And the thing that I find interesting about him signing with the Lakers is his first year in Portland, Scott Brooks was the lead assistant for Chauncey Billups, and obviously now Scott is with the Lakers. So I'm sure Rob Pelinka and J.J. Redick really grilled Scotty about the history of DeAndre and what they're getting here. And obviously Scotty probably had enough good things to say, but I think DeAndre is really going to test the patience of the pros in the Laker locker room, because he's immature. He thinks he's better than he is, and he's just kind of goofy. Some people think that's fun and carefree, but the veterans in the Blazers locker room countless times would roll their eyes when he would come blaring through the locker room singing or saying nonsense. And it's just, after a while, I think that lack of professionalism, when you're like that and you're missing or being late to planes and bus rides and practices, that wears on you a little bit.
Now, Jason, you know how Laker fans get, right? Whoever they get, that's going to be the next person. That's going to be the one that's going to change it around, because the Laker culture can change it. You've been to L.A. so many times. You know what you're dealing with. Now, the Laker culture, LeBron and Luka, whatever that is, can it help Ayton? Can it change him, or is he just going to be him?
I think he's just going to be him. I mean, I think he turns 27 this month in about a week. He's played with Chris Paul and still had the same issues. Played with Jeremy Grant, not exactly a huge veteran, but I just think, the only thing I think that is going in the Lakers' favor right now is this is two teams now that have kind of given up on DeAndre, and I think that he might realize, or at least hopefully people in his camp are saying, this might be one of your last chances, to kind of show that you can get over that hump and be an impact player. So if he understands that this might be his last chance, and then I think, the spotlight and the honor and the pressure of playing with LeBron will probably add something to that. So I think there's a chance he can turn, but I don't know. I've been covering this league for almost 30 years, and I think by the time you reach 27, you are who you are.
Yeah, I mean, he's played 7 years in the league. Jason Quick with us here of The Athletic, was around Ayton in Portland. And here's the other thing. I mean, that to me is already a red flag. And look, he's got a great agent in Bill Duffy. He's Luka Doncic's agent as well. But, the fact that his people around him would even have to tell him, hey, this could be your last chance, and he doesn't realize that on his own potentially could be a red flag for me. The other part is this, and look, I've known Chauncey Billups a long time. I worked with him here at ESPN. I love Chauncey. I think Chauncey's had to have a lot of patience there, considering the way things have gone in Portland. But Chauncey, to me, has always been a good leader, right? And like has been able to relate to guys. And the fact that he couldn't connect with him, I think, to me, speaks volumes about where Ayton was even at that stage, because I don't know someone that doesn't respect and connect with Chauncey.
Exactly. And, it even goes back to Chauncey's playing career where he was able to kind of get productive years out of J.R. Smith in Denver and Chris Anderson, the Birdman in Denver. He even, I don't know if he could totally curtail Rasheed Wallace, but Rasheed helped Chauncey and them win a title in Detroit. So, you're right. The fact that Chauncey couldn't get to him, I think DeAndre was better in his second year as far as the tardiness and the tantrums. But still they were there. And I still think there was frustration from the coaching staff on what they were getting out of DeAndre. I mean, the most public display was in December against the Jazz. And, the Jazz is one of the worst teams in the league, and they were smoking the Blazers. They come out at halftime, 2 minutes into the third quarter, Chauncey calls a timeout. It's just pissed, and benches Ayton, benches him for the rest of the game. And after the game, he's like, I didn't like his spirit. And when you have that from a veteran, a guy making $35 million a year, and you're getting yanked against the worst team in the league because your effort isn't there, your spirit isn't there, that's a huge red flag. And there were several occasions throughout his 2 years in Portland where he was yanked out of games and benched and, didn't return. That was just kind of the more public one and obvious one. But yeah, there's going to be, like I said at the start, he's going to leave Laker fans wanting more.
For me, it was always the frustration of watching him one day 16-16, and then comes back with a 2-6 kind of game. So why is he so inconsistent?
I think it's just the effort. And then also, I think his right knee is bothers him. I think he drags that right knee a ton, and he missed a lot of games in Portland because of right knee tendonitis. And then last year he didn't play after February because he strained his calf in Denver. So he only played 40 games last year, 55 games the year before. But I think it's an effort thing. It's a mental thing where he just isn't always locked in. He isn't always given the effort. He gets a ton of rebounds, but it's like I always argue. I think rebounding is the most overrated stat in the NBA because I think he left his feet for, maybe a 10% of his rebounds. And the last time he has kind of outworked somebody for a rebound, I can't remember. So he's not a guy who's going to wow you with his effort. He's not a guy who's going to outmuscle guys. He's not going to deter guys at the rim, but he's got a beautiful little jumper around the free throw line. He's a decent lob threat. But he's going to frustrate the heck out of you guys.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Jason Quick of The Athletic with us here on Sedano and Kap on 710 ESPN. Jason, thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
You bet. See you guys.
Take care. So Tom Haberstroh, Yahoo's analytics guy, who also, by the way, does some stuff on the Blazers broadcast. He's like their analytics guy as well on their team broadcast, has obviously been around Ayton a ton and watched pretty much every game that he's played in a Portland uniform. Beyond being a national analytics guy for Yahoo, is going to join us at the top of the hour. And we'll get kind of more of a numbers-based thing. So if you don't like the potential subjectivity to what Jason is telling you, we'll have a more empirical aspect of it, some more empirical data in regards to his game, his strengths and weaknesses, okay? And no one here is leading the witnesses, okay? I know that that's what people are now insinuating or implying here. We're asking the questions. You should want to hear this, okay?
We're not piling on. It's just trying to give you the perspective of somebody who saw him every single game.
Correct.
He was in Portland.
Because I hate the thing of, like, he becomes on your team, and all of a sudden you then try to like talk yourself into a pretzel, making this thing, trying to figure out how this is going to work. And you heard him say there is talent there.
Absolutely,
talent is not the issue.
It could work,
right?
It could.
It's the effort.
I think he left his feet for 10% of his rebounds. That was pretty bad.
Well, the video you guys sent in the chat. Yikes.
Right. Like, we're trying to make sure you are aware of what you're getting. And I know we're getting tweets from like OG Omar Gonzalez. He's the best option. We're not saying he's a Laker great. This, that. I get it. But no one is saying he's a Laker great either. But what we're telling you is this, like, Brook Lopez went for $9 million. You're paying $8 million to DeAndre Ayton. I would rather have Brook Lopez, even at 38 years old or whatever the hell he is.
Yeah. Because Ayton just is, Jason was saying, he's frustrating what he's going to be. Can he do something? Yes. Is the potential there? Yes. Reality that he's going to give you what you're expecting? Probably slim. But again, that's your best option out there.
Oh,
that's
for sure.
what you could get.
Right.
So good for the Lakers for getting that guy.
Agreed.
Now get him inside the facility and change everything about him.
Yeah. Right. Literally almost everything. Except his talent. Because that obviously doesn't need.
Unlock it.
Right.
Like, we're not being haters, just the reality of like, damn, this is our best.
I mean, the worst is saying that he's going to have the veterans in the Lakers locker room. He said that he's legit going to frustrate them, and that's the one. That's the one thing I like. Look at my damn. I'm LeBron. Like, I got to motivate this guy to play every single.
You don't
night.
think LeBron's on the phone with Chris Paul right now and Devin Booker right now?
Like Luka Doncic, you think Luka Doncic want to be in a situation?
Luka Doncic played against him in a playoff game where they quit.
Yeah.
They destroyed them in a game 7 by like 50. So, you know, it is what it is. And Steve from San Diego, if you don't like my screeching, you can listen to something else.
Damn, appreciate the 619. You sure it's not Cappy? Burner?
I don't know, man.
Cappy burner?
Maybe it's, Chris says it's Justin's burner, so maybe it's that. Yeah. So, anyway, I hope that's not the case.
An hour on DeAndre Ayton, who would have thought?
Yeah.
That's
listen,
where we're at.
This is where we're at.
This is where we're at.
This is where we're at. All right, so Haberstroh is going to join us next. Stick around, 710 ESPN.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m. after Clinton and Friends.
You know, once you cross 5-0, things change. Your perspective changes.
That's very true.
So he's a newbie. So he's newbie.
Did it happen for you like in the moment of your 50th birthday? Because it for me, it was more of a slow transition to where your priority, all of a sudden, it's like you wake up one morning and it's like, my priorities are very different. The way that I'm interacting with people is very different.
Everything changed. Your
but
whole
on a dime or gradually?
I mean, probably that first year. Like, you start rethinking of things and going back and what you thought and what you knew and the rules you based your life on. You figure out that's kind of like BS.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just going to.
Right.
It's one of those, those things that I thought were 100% true.
Yeah, not even close.
Maybe not so much.
Right.
Travis and DeMarco tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Don't miss Travis and DeMarco on 710 ESPN.
Want to sell your home because you're downsizing? Call Seller's Advantage. Want to sell the home that you've inherited? Call Seller's Advantage. Want to sell your home and take advantage of your equity? Call Seller's Advantage. No matter what your reason for selling, Seller's Advantage will make you a competitive cash offer and can close in as little as days or as long as you. Don't worry about the condition of your home. You don't need to pay for costly repairs because they buy as is. Seller's Advantage has been buying homes for over 20 years, focusing on helping sellers get the highest offer possible without having to get it ready for the market or deal with agents or pay commissions. They make selling easy and painless. They'll even offer you a $20,000 advance for moving and other expenses. If it's time to sell your home, call Seller's Advantage for a no-obligation offer. Call 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-AS-IS, 888-397-2747, or visit sellersadvantage.com.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Hey, it's Mace. In tough times, a lot of people find themselves owing money to the IRS. It can really weigh you down, and you're confused about the right way to handle it. And all those scary ads on the radio about the IRS, they don't help. Tax relief advocates want you to relax, knowing that whether you owe $5,000, $50,000, $500,000 in tax debt, you don't have to fear the IRS another day. TRA has a proven 3-step tax resolution process, plus they're experts at working with special programs available from the IRS to help taxpayers get back on track. Easy to see why they have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. If you owe money to the IRS and feel trapped, don't lose hope. Tax relief advocates could reduce or even eliminate your debt. End your tax nightmare today. Simply visit TRA.com or call 800-575-1482. That's 800-575-1482. Again, 800-575-1482.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A good karma brands radio station.
710 ESPN.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Tom Haberstroh, my friend from Yahoo Sports. He is Mr. Analytics. Will join us in just a second. But, Lindsay, what do you got?
All right, what you need to know is that last night, legendary halftime act Red Panda fell off her unicycle and injured her wrist. She sent out a statement today, which Pat McAfee tweeted out, saying, "Thank you very much to all NBA, WNBA, university, media individuals, and everyone for supporting for your kindness and concern. Last night at the Lynx Fever game, she took a fall at the very beginning of the show due to the left paddle of her unicycle being damaged during transit." That's not good. She fractured her wrist, and she spent 11 hours in the hospital, had to get surgery, but she's okay now. She's on her way home, and as soon as she gets home, she's going to meet with a orthopedic surgeon, and she says, "Appreciate all of you for your concern. I'm okay."
Legend right there.
Shout out to Red Panda. Get better, Red Panda.
Yeah, she tore her ACL a couple years ago. She was out for a while.
Dangerous job.
My boy Paul one time got to be the guy throwing the bowls at Red Panda. He said the most terrifying thing ever.
Oh, I bet.
If you mess up,
yeah. Man. Tom Haberstroh, Yahoo Sports, does a phenomenal job in regards to NBA coverage. He is what I like to call Mr. Numbers, Mr. Analytics. Also on the Blazers broadcast, so he certainly has had his fair share of looks at Deandre Ayton at his recent stop, but obviously covers the entire league at large for Yahoo Sports. Haberstroh, would you like to say anything to Red Panda before we get to Deandre Ayton?
I have a stat. She is one of one. There's no one like her. She is the best. She is the GOAT, and wish her the best on her recovery. Minor setback, major comeback.
I agree. Perfectly said. All right, so Deandre Ayton, what do the numbers say and support in regards to him living up to the billing, right? His talent level, and where has he been better than expected, and where has he been more deficient than expected?
Well, he is a classic case, George, of great box score stats and not great impact. So when you look at the analytics, of course, we can look at his box score that says over the last 15 games finishing the season last year, he was on fire. I mean, the guy averaged 23.2 points, 12.4 rebounds in the final 15 games of the Blazers season before he got hurt. That's like all-star, all-NBA Anthony Davis type numbers, right? But the problem with DeAndre Ayton is the other stuff. It's the defense. It's the energy, the playing with force. He doesn't like to be totally physical out there. His free throw rate is among the lowest in the NBA at his position. And I got to say, all that said, if you get him at $8 million a year, that's a great pickup.
Okay.
He's got great upside. I think when you look at DeAndre Ayton, like at $32 million is a different proposition than getting him as a flyer at the mini-med level or an $8 million contract. I think that's a really smart move if he's motivated and if he's willing to be more physical than he showed at times last season.
So how does he fit in with the Lakers?
Well, he's going to be a great lob threat. Maybe not as great as Daniel Gafford or Derek Lively over in Dallas, but he's going to be a really nice alley-oop co-pilot with Luka Doncic. Scoot Henderson, the really good young talent for Portland, he's a guy that got into the paint and looked for DeAndre Ayton every single time. And D.A. loves those lobs. He loves getting those lobs at the rim. As long as he's got a guy who's willing to pass that, he's going to be willing to finish it. So that's one thing that he's going to be excellent at, being paired with Luka Doncic, is that pick and roll game, and he's got to run hard at the rim and really want to get that vertical spacing and really put pressure on the defense. Sometimes he likes to hang back in that pick and roll and look for that mid-range jumper. And if you haven't seen his mid-range jumper, it is auto. It is automatic. I mean, he is shooting from that 12-foot range right around the nail at the free throw line. It's a little bit of a line drive, and you kind of hold your breath when he launches it. But the numbers don't lie. He's about, it's like a layup. It's like 56% mid-range jumper right around that area of 12 feet. And so, you know, I projected him as a guy that would be like a Brook Lopez type who could stretch to the 3-point line because he's so money in that, that 15-foot range. But it hasn't really translated for him, at least not last year. He was 1 for 16 on corner 3-pointers last year, and at the top of the key was a little bit better. But this guy is a good pick and roll roller. He just has to screen a little harder. There were times where he wasn't setting the right screen or holding it long enough to draw that contact. Again, the physicality thing is kind of like a night-to-night thing. Depends on where he's at that night, whether he's going to be that physical guy who can really pancake other opponents on those screens and then roll hard to the rim. There are times that he does this very consistently, and he looks like an all-star. And there's other times where it doesn't seem like he's very locked in. And at $30 million a year, you demand a lot more energy from that kind of caliber of player. But at $8 million, I think it's a great pickup for the Lakers.
So I'm looking at his shot chart, and I would say roughly around 300 shots in the restricted area, so about half of his shots in the restricted area. If he's playing with Luka Doncic, he's going to need to do that more than just 50% of the time.
Yeah, those rim runners like I was talking to you about, the lobs, that's going to be it. A lot of times...
But there's to your point, though, there's a lot of settling in between the dotted line and the restricted area, a lot of that, which is roughly around like 8 feet or so to 10 feet. And then, to your point, a lot of stuff around the free throw line extended area. Those are shots I just don't think J.J. Redick is going to want him to take.
Yeah, well, number one, if you're shooting that at like 45%, that like baby hook in the paint, that's not going to cut it. Efficiency-wise, just it's not a great shot. But the other thing is you don't draw fouls on those.
Right.
You know? He's a good shooter, but he needs to get to the free throw line more and play through contact more if he wants to be effective in the paint. And a lot of times he just goes to that baby hook, and it's an okay shot most of the time. But he's not a guy that is going to play through. He's not AD. Like, AD lives at the free throw line. He is not that kind of player. And look, a lot of really, like Brook Lopez also doesn't get to the line, and he's a very positive player offensively. DA also, he's not the most willing passer. If you get him the rock, he is probably going to look for his jumper. Or if you get him a pass, a lob around the rim, he will finish it. But, you know, it's really going to come to motivation. It's going to come down to J.J. Redick's coaching and getting him in the right spots and playing with Luka. The hope is that playing with a point guard like that, like he did with Chris Paul en route to the NBA Finals, you get a guy like that that can really get you the ball in the right spots. DA can be really effective.
So, real quick, defensively, where would you put him?
I think he's an average defender. He's a solid shot blocker, but it's just a matter of if he's focused and in the right coverages. He's a super athlete. He should be able to run the floor up and down in transition, but it just depends if he's motivated that night. I think that's one of the big things why his box score stats looks like an all-star level, but his impact stats drag is a lot of times in transition he can be beat down the floor. And from what I can see and what I saw on the broadcast, watching those games, there are times where he is by far the fastest guy out. He's the best athlete out on the court. It's just a matter of whether he's willing to do it. And so that's what it comes down to coaching, where it's just, can you light the fire underneath him so that he is willing to run the floor and block shots and play physical? Because you know it's in him. It's just whether you can draw it out.
Now, Go ahead, Beto.
So
Sorry.
the Lakers options very, very limited what they can get, and you mentioned it at this price. Great pickup for the Lakers to get DeAndre Ayton at this price. You bring up the stats of what he can do. That being said, why would Portland pay him to go away?
Well, they have a lot of centers.
Well, but isn't that also an indictment that they took all those centers?
Well, I can't speak to why they would let him go, but I will say when you had Donovan Clingan at the 7th pick last year, they love Donovan Clingan. He is one of the elite rim protectors in the NBA. Statistically, like his player tracking data, when he's around the basket and you're trying to score against him, he's Wemby-esque. Like they want to see more out of Donovan Clingan, and they also, I think for DeAndre Ayton, I think he has aspirations to compete to win a championship, and the timeline might be a little bit different for DeAndre Ayton. And at that number, it's harder to move DeAndre Ayton, and so I can understand why it came to this. And as you saw, I think there was a lot of interest in DeAndre Ayton, and he joined the Lakers where he can have a really good opportunity next to Luka Doncic and compete for a deeper playoff run than say where the Blazers are right now.
So let's just to recap where we're at. Tom Haberstroh of Yahoo Sports, and obviously part of the Blazers local broadcast as well. So he's incredibly familiar with DeAndre's game. He shoots the ball in the restricted area or finishes in the restricted area about 50% of the time. That needs to be upped, okay? But the talent is undeniable. No one is denying that. But he's an average defender, but ultimately this boils down to the want to and the willingness to do stuff, which has not been a thing that he's done for 7 years and has sent a lot of his teammates to shrug their shoulders at him. So basically, he needs to realize this is his last stop potentially if he doesn't fulfill whatever promise that he's had throughout his career. Is that a fair way to assess what we've discussed today?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say this is a contract year for DA. And that's his name. Up in Portland, he goes by DA.
Okay.
DeAndre Ayton is a guy that when motivated, he's someone that is an all-star caliber player. Like, he can be that kind of guy if he's motivated. Now, the question for me is he going to see this opportunity with the Lakers as a contract year where he has promise and can show that he can be a winning player and get back to the player that he was in the NBA Finals with the Phoenix Suns? I think that's best case scenario. And if he falls in love with the mid-range and doesn't play with force, I think that could be an issue for the Lakers that really want to pound the paint, get into the paint, use that vertical spacing with Luka and do these kickouts or lobs. He has to play with force, and a lot more force than he showed at times. And I think if you get that kind of player, DA can be really a high-impact guy. It's just going to come down to that motivation because he's got the athleticism, man. He can fly, dude. He can fly up and down the floor. And he's got a nice mid-range jumper. It's just sometimes he gets a little too in love with that, and it can get him, sort of in an inefficient place. But as long as he's rim running and he's playing hard on defense and he's getting back and he's locked in defensively, he's going to really help the Lakers next year.
Yeah, look, I hope I'm wrong about this because I don't want the kid to wash out of the league as a number one overall pick. But honestly, look, we need the content, to be honest with you. There's that part of it too. But It really is like I'm a big believer in what's the saying? The tiger doesn't change its stripes or whatever. I just think after 7 years, you're kind of a formed player. There's not a ton of precedent. Maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong. Is there a ton of precedent of a guy in year 8, it all clicking together in that regard, in like the motivation aspect of it?
There's not a huge track record in terms of box score stats and impact stats, kind of contradicting each other. It reminds me a lot of Andre Drummond, right? Where it's like this guy is a crazy athlete, amazing box score.
That's a
numbers.
good comp.
But like in terms of impact, like winning plays, it's he could be a borderline starter or someone who can fill in as a backup at the latter part of his career. But at his best, Andre Drummond's a really good, useful player. JaVale McGee, another one. But when you look at with the Blazers last year, when he was on the floor, DeAndre Ayton was on the floor, Blazers allowed 117 points every 100 possessions. When he was on the bench, so guys like DeAndre Ayton, Rob Williams came onto the floor, to sub him out, the defense improved all the way from 117 points per 100 possessions allowed to 111. And so with a guy with that kind of salary and that kind of, number one overall pick, a guy who went to the finals, you want to see a little bit more impact defensively and being able to defend at a high level and, protecting that rim, playing great in the pick and roll defense. That's something that DA hasn't really shown over the last couple of years, is having the impact stats matching his box score stats. And this is a really good opportunity. He had that quote a few years ago, I feel like with Phoenix, where he was just like, I forget the exact line, George, but it was something like, all I'm chasing is that big second contract, or I want to be a $30 million guy in this league. And my hope is that he used this opportunity financially as a motivating factor to play hard all the time. And if he does that, man, the Laker fans are going to love this guy.
Okay, good. I hope that ends up being the case. Thank you for giving us an unbiased opinion and letting the data tell us how it's unfolded for him. Last thing before I let you go, I do have one more. Where do you see the Lakers currently? You look at this roster. I know it's somewhat incomplete at the moment for a lot of teams, but where do you see them in the West right now if you had to slot them in a seed at the moment?
I think they're fringe at the play-in versus getting in that top six. I think the West got so much better, and you saw just that log jam, 50-32 last year, and they got the third seed, but they were just as easily one unlucky bounce at the late in games early in the season. They were right around the 8 and 9 seed. So I think that's probably where they're at. I think the Jaren Jackson Jr. injury and losing Desmond Bane is going to help the Lakers kind of solidify that 7-6 slot. It's just, I think losing DFS is going to really hurt. And I love Jake LaRavia. Go Deeks! But this roster is not fully complete, and DA is going to help. But they still need a premier center next to Luka Doncic. I think Ayton can be that, but would I bet on it? I'm not there yet.
Tom Haberstroh does fantastic work for Yahoo Sports. We go way back. Thank you so much, buddy, for jumping on. Let's do this more during the season, okay?
You got it, George. Thanks, man.
See you, bud.
Good stuff. Real good stuff.
There you go.
A lot of it is
completely objective. It's all numbers. You heard him say good things. You heard him say not so good things about DA.
DA, we got to get it right. DA.
Yeah. So, again, everybody hears what they want to hear.
For the price, he's a good pickup.
But he gave you both sides of the coin there.
And he's left a lot to be desired.
Bobby Marks will join us at 5 o'clock in studio, and then Mark Spears towards the end because the Lakers are chasing Dame allegedly, and Mark is very plugged in on the Dame situation.
Yes, he is.
That's going to be in the 5 o'clock hour. Let's take a quick break. We've got a short segment coming up. Let's kind of react to what we discussed with Jason Quick and Tom Haberstroh next.
And the Lakers finally get a big man. Day 3 of NBA free agency brings Deandre Ayton to the purple and gold. We're talking about it all afternoon on the home of the purple and gold.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons
I'm
and
Doug Hopkins.
locations.
And I'm Damon Lyons. And we want to buy your house.
After 30 years and more than 20,000 transactions, Seller's Advantage knows how to get you more for your home.
No agent fees, no commissions, just an as-is cash offer.
Call Seller's Advantage or visit SellersAdvantage.com.
People like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
All right. We got a caller who says, I need to buy a car and I need to save money. Well, my friend, I've got one answer for you. The Cerritos Auto Square. It's America's largest auto mall. 24 dealerships, all the top brands, all in one easy location right here in SoCal. And here's the secret. These dealers sell more cars than anyone because they have low prices. And they can actually afford low prices because they sell so many cars. Check it out at CerritosAutosquare.com.
Cerritos Auto Square.
Have you checked out the new Park West Bicycle Casino? Only 9 miles from downtown LA, right off the 710? The bike has been reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and 200 table games. On July 1st and July 15th, Buy in for $100 and get $100 in Lucky Chips plus $50 in free play chips. ESPN listeners get $30 in match play when they walk in and say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino. Real cards, real prizes, real close.
Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER. GER-001291, 001289, 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
In 1979, the first words spoken on ESPN weren't just an announcement.
If you're a fan,
they were a sports prophecy.
What you'll see in the next minutes, hours, and days to follow.
Glad you're with us tonight.
May convince you you've gone to sports heaven. And right now, you're standing on the edge of tomorrow.
This fall, the next era of ESPN begins. Sports Forever.
And it is Sedano and Kap your Wednesday afternoon. The Waba Grill 4 p.m. hour is on. Waba Grill. Get to Waba Grill for their new $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. Also, let's say happy birthday. Margot Robbie turns 35 years old. And Rocky music on this day back in 1997. The #1 hit, Bill Cotton. Gonna Fly Now, the theme from Rocky. Just makes you feel like a proud American on 4th of July week, doesn't it? Sedano and Kap continues with Beto, your Wednesday afternoon right now.
It's a great jam right here.
Tell me you don't put this on the...
Yo, Adrian.
Yeah. When you're running, ready to go, right?
We're very much wall-to-wall Lakers right now, but give me the stuff on who's made the All-Star team.
All-Star starters are out, and for the National League, getting the vote getters, Freddie Freeman is first base. Marte from the D-backs is second base. Lindor from the Mets is a shortstop. Manny Machado, Padres third baseman. Will Smith is your NL catcher. Those are the ones that are coming out so far. For the American League, Cal Raleigh, the Mariners, Vlad Guerrero Jr., the first baseman. Gleyber Torres, the second baseman. Jacob Wilson from the A's gets his first one over Bobby Witt Jr. Jose Ramirez is your third baseman. And Ryan O'Hearn from the Orioles is your DH. So that's what's come out so far.
Excellent. All right, short segment here. The mongrels in the YouTube chat, they don't know how to react. They loved Haberstroh. Yeah. Then they hated him when he said something they didn't like about Deandre Ayton. And then ultimately didn't like him at the end when he said he thought the Lakers were going to be a play-in team. The mongrels are never happy, is my point.
Keep on listening,
They're so fickle. Fickle mongrels
I feel
in
like,
the YouTube chat.
I feel like they have no objectivity.
No, that's fine. They're a fan. They shouldn't have objectivity. The whole point is that they shouldn't.
And in the Gold Cup, USA is beating Guatemala 1-0 in the first half. There you go.
There you go.
Got everything here, baby.
Okay, so, look. Again, I will just repeat what I said 30 or 40 minutes ago. I hope I'm wrong. Listen, this station needs the Lakers to be good, okay? Like, this is not, and I will repeat what I've always said in the 9 years I've been here. I root for me, okay? And
I love me some me.
And what's good for me is what's good for business. It's the Lakers being good. It's the Rams being good. It's USC being good. It's LAFC being good. That helps business.
Kings being good.
Kings being good. Thank you. So I root for me, okay?
Love me some me.
If it works for you when I root for me, good for you too. But I root for me, and I root what's good for business. So, I mean, look at these numbers the last couple of days on these YouTubes and Twitter and all this stuff. People are thirsty for anything Lakers. Okay, so I'm giving it to you, and I'm willing to bring on people like Tom Haberstroh, who may or may not, who's excellent, who may or may not agree with everything I say, but he's going to give you an objective opinion on it because it's not like JJ says. We're going to do things based on the math. And Tom gives you stuff based on the math. Jason Quick gave you more of sourcing, eye test, what players, coaches, etc. feel about DeAndre Ayton. You can marry those things however you want. We're going to present you the information. I'm going to give you my opinions on it. I don't care if you like them or not. It's really not my problem whether you like them or not. But I'm not going to shy away from them, okay? Nor should anyone on this show for that matter. You're entitled to yours. Let's see how it works out. Nobody here is a savant or, has a crystal ball and can see how it figures out. We can all project, and that's about it. And we'll see where the chips fall after that. However, I will say this, and I'll repeat what I told Tom. Yes, when he does have the motivation to be a rim runner, it works. He shoots 67%, I believe is what I saw at inside the 67% in the restricted area. League average is 59%. So he's good when he's there. It's just, will he be willing to do that? Now, listen, Luka may lead him there, right, DeAndre? But he's got to be willing to do that. He can't be floating to the free throw line. That is not going to work because the spacing's not going to work. And JJ's just not going to put up with that, I think.
The spacing is going to be one of the big problems for him, right?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. And see, he was saying that when Tom came on, he was saying that he likes to settle more in that mid-range jumper, and that's the only thing that he said. You won't really see him bang down low. You won't really see him get to the free throw line like that, and that's what the Lakers need. They need to get to the free throw line. They need to be able to execute and be able to capitalize and stuff like that. And I don't want to, again, with his size and like he has the ability to be a dominant force in the paint, but all it comes down to is he willing to do it? Does he have the motivation? And I mean, again, you can't coach motivation. He's got to want to do the things.
Want to. In year, 8 now?
But both guests said that, right?
Yeah.
Both
He has
guests
to want to
said
do it.
that he's got to have the willingness to do it. Two people, independent of each other, said that.
Everybody around him has said that.
Right.
Since he got drafted.
That is a concern. I will say this. Tom has nailed it, though. For $8 million, it's worth the flyer.
It's the right deal.
At $34 million, you can't put up with any of that, okay? At 8, you take the flyer.
It's a good deal for the Lakers at that price.
Man, here's my problem with it, okay? And there's been a bit of a misnomer with the Luka thing. August 2nd, right, is what we've been talking about because that's when he can sign the extension.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to sign it on August 2nd. It's not like a finite thing where it's like, hey, it's got to be August 2nd or nothing. Like, that's
it's just
not how
the
that
first
works.
day he can.
Correct. Okay? If Luka is, which he does every offseason, is playing like with his Slovenian national team in like some Euro Cup or something, and he's a little busy to sign it on August 2nd, and he signs it, somewhere in August, it doesn't matter. But August is the timeline where we have to be more cognizant of it. But man, I just think you are running a lot of risks, okay? And I feel like fair to Rob Pelinka in being very specific, telling this audience who has given me a furnace blast back of things that he's allegedly done wrong, when I've said he is literally trying to thread one of the most difficult needles in the sport, okay? Of trying to win now while building for his prodigy superstar who's not under contract, okay, beyond this season per se, or next season, excuse me. So like that stuff is not easy. So, I feel like I can't win. Like when I criticize Pelinka, it's like, oh, you're too hard on him.
No,
and then I tell you, well, he's got a really tough job
Then
too.
you're a defender
on the
of
other end,
Pelinka.
then it's
You're
I'm
an
defending
apologist.
Pelinka. So it is what it is.
It's really hard for the Lakers front office.
W.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Getting Ayton is a W right now if it works out for him.
It is. Here's what I would call. It's low risk in the financial sense, but man, is it also simultaneously also kind of risky because if it doesn't work and this team is back in the play-in, oh boy, like that is not a good thing.
And
for
what
this
did
franchise.
Haberstroh say? They're going to be right around that play-in.
They might be
because the
West
has
is
gotten
better.
so much better.
The West is better. So, I am genuinely curious to see how this all plays out. I hope it plays out in their favor where they are relevant. Look, if they're going to be the 3 seed again, I'll take it.
Absolutely.
But I will say this. Even if they are the 3 seed, while I'll take it, we're still, and I said this last year with JJ, because everyone was like, oh, JJ. I said he'd be a good coach. People thought I was crazy then. He proved in the regular season he was a good coach. But I did say, The real test will be in the postseason. And I think he would tell you he could have done a better job on certain things. So the Lakers, the regular season is going to be one thing. We're going to see what this team looks like in the postseason. Like that, to me, is going to be where we judge it. There's 2 seasons here. There's the regular season and the postseason, and those things have to be judged with completely different subsets and mindsets.
You're cooking right now. You are on one right now. I love this. I love how you've come out, came from TV. I'm doing my Cappy right now. The kid is working hard right now.
Oh,
Look at him.
Jesus.
The way you're coming out there, the furnace coming at you, Sedano.
I don't care. I like the furnace.
Oh.
Right. I like the furnace. Give me the furnace. I can take it. I don't care about the mongrels. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the mongrels. Keep bringing it, mongrels, all day, every day.
Now,
okay?
the JJ factor, I'm not even going to worry about the playoffs because you don't even know what the team is going to look like by the time to get to the playoffs.
Yes.
Let's just say there is a LeBron trade during the season, right? Let's just say that they do find another center to help out. Let's just say that Deandre Ayton actually becomes the potential that he has there. There's so many questions for the Lakers this season.
Lavelle Harris, don't change now. Y'all said yesterday he was a post player. Now everybody's saying he's a rim runner. Which is it? Yeah, he posts more than he rim runs. I literally pushed back to Haberstroh on that, that finishing at the rim, okay, is not just rim running. Finishing at the rim is posting up, coming in, turning around, drop step, layup. Like, he is more 90s center, early 2000s center than he is modern day center.
Yeah, he likes to work from the block.
Correct.
Don't have to do much.
It's that turnaround jump shot, likes a little hook shot here and there.
Little baby hook, if you can get that.
Lavelle, while I appreciate the tweet and the patronage to the show, I would also say you have to understand the nuances of the conversation as well. So, all right, we got to go to break. I told you that'd be a little bit of a short segment. We've got Radio Tinder coming up next, brought to you by our friends, the Crazy Hernandez brothers. And so if you need flooring, call Hernandez Flooring at 866-62-FLOOR or go to their website, hernandezwholesaleflooring.net. We'll do that next. We'll get back to the Lakers because, like, LeBron is into the summer of passive aggressiveness.
Oh, my goodness.
So we'll get into that.
And it's 2-0 USA.
And then at 5 o'clock, Bobby Marks will be in studio with us. We'll talk to him about all things Lakers, all things West, all things NBA. Maybe we'll even let you send questions for him, and we'll ask him that. The Mongrels can ask questions in the 5 o'clock hour. The COT on Twitter can ask questions. Hell, maybe we'll even take calls. Who knows?
Stop it.
Maybe.
Yeah, you don't be going crazy now.
Oh, maybe. So we'll do all that. Mark Spears will join us to talk about Dame and the Lakers' interest in Dame because they've already expressed interest. Rob Pelinka has called Aaron Goodwin, Dame's agent. Mark is all over the Dame beat. So we got a lot of basketball for you here and a lot of information, a lot of really good people that will bring you that information. But Radio Tinder next.
Travis Rogers.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill?
It's just better for you.
Download the Waba Rewards app or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you.
But on a dime or gradually?
I mean, probably that first year. Like, you start rethinking of things and going back and what you thought and what you knew and the rules you based your life on. You figure out that's kind of like BS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I was just going to...
Right.
It's one of those, those things that I thought were 100% true.
Yeah, not even close.
Maybe not so much.
Right.
Travis and DeMarco tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Don't miss Travis and DeMarco on 710 ESPN.
Cappy here to tell you about my great friends at Ocean Subaru of Fullerton. I'm a huge fan for so many reasons. The safety, technology, versatility, reliability, and they're all about the Subaru Love Promise. The cars are spacious and sporty. You got to go see my boy Omar and his team at Ocean Subaru of Fullerton. They're focused on your needs, and they're the most knowledgeable people when it comes to getting you into the right Subaru. Ocean Subaru, 1100 South Euclid in Fullerton, just off the 91 freeway. Go to OceanSubaruOC.com. That's OceanSubaruOC.com. Ocean Subaru of Fullerton, where every journey starts with love.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
We expect our information in real time. U.S. Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. U.S. Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
And it is Sedano and Kap your Wednesday afternoon. Radio Tinder time. We like to play a TV theme or a wrestling theme during the Waba Grill 4 p.m. hour. Happy 68th birthday to Bret Hart, Bret the Hitman Hart. You can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter or Instagram. Don't forget about our new sponsor, the Crazy Hernandez Brothers. If you're in the market for new flooring, shop at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, where every day is a deal. No gimmicks. Call 866-62-FLOOR, F-L-O-O-R, or go to HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net. No sale beats wholesale. Take it away, please, Lindsay.
Thanks, Christopher. All right, guys, so you can let Bobby Mark come punch you.
Oh, no, I told one of the kids in the back to do it.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah,
I just see him over there, and I texted him.
Funch's a delegator now.
I
told Summer
about,
Funch.
man.
Somebody else.
Yeah, so I'm doing.
I sent him the link to open the door. It must not have worked. That's okay. Okay.
Doors
guys.
are not working here. I can't get in the building anymore.
I have a hard time. Trudell says his fob doesn't work, but that's neither here.
I think everyone has problems with their thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
With their things. Everyone's got problems with their things,
Yeah,
Fudge says.
Yeah.
Including Christopher. Okay, so the Dalai Lama is turning 90 on July 6th. And so they've been celebrating that since Monday because, it gets like a week-long celebration for that. And, 90 is kind of old especially for, the leader of his world. And, that the Dalai Lamas believe in reincarnation. He said that he will have a successor once he's gone, which is putting to rest speculation over whether or not, like, the 600-year-old institution of Tibet will end when he dies. So, Dalai Lamas are reincarnated, and I want to ask you guys, do you believe in reincarnation? Swipe left or swipe right?
I always flip on this stuff. I don't know if I believe on it. Sometimes I feel like it's just existential mumbo jumbo. But sometimes, there's you read some of these stories, right, about like kids like telling like adults that like they see things or they remember them from other from other times, and it's just like that stuff. I don't know, man. Life is just weird. Like, we don't have the answers to all that stuff. So I've come to kind of respect that stuff a little more, is what I would say. While not necessarily 100% believing in it, but I do think that maybe there are some instances of it.
Like in Bull Durham, when Susan Sarandon said, how come when you're reincarnated, nobody ever says, oh, I was just a regular person. I was a regular teacher. There's always, I was a prince, I was a king, I was something. But, hey, Lama, how about a little something for, the effort? Come on now, who's there? Come on, nobody? No Caddyshack, anybody here?
Oh, well, it's a Cappy thing, okay?
Oh, man.
Nope.
That's when in Caddyshack.
None of us have even seen it.
Bill Murray tells him he caddied for Dalai Lama, and the Lama stiffed him on a tip. And he said, hey, Lama, how about a little something for the effort, And Dalai Lama responded to him, well, no money, but instead, on your deathbed, you will receive total consciousness. That's the only thing I know about the Dalai Lama.
Okay.
I'm the only one here. All right, good.
I will say, in that regard, like I've always believed in like ghosts, and there's definitely like something in like the spiritual world that we can't see, at least not most of the time. I listened to this podcast called Spooked, and it's about like it's from the same network that does Snap Judgment with Glenn Washington, and so they're basically like ghost stories, and a lot of them are stories of like reincarnation. And I recently listened to one about this police officer who was like a deputy somewhere in like Dallas. Like he had a very high ranking position, and he never believed in any of that stuff until he ended up on the crime scene with somebody who had like ties to the spiritual world and tried to do like like hypnotism and stuff like that. And he found out, or he believes after all of his meetings with her, that he was reincarnated, and he knew all of these things about this other person in this other world that were just like mind-blowing. And sure, this guy could be making it up, but like he literally lost his job because people were like, oh yeah, you can't be saying stuff like that if you're gonna like run the police department. And I feel like you'd have to be pretty crazy to start saying all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like at that point in your career, knowing that you're going to get let go.
Man.
So I think it's true. But anyway, Funchy's got the next one.
I don't know how you listen to that stuff, Linz.
It's fascinating.
No, that's scary.
Funchy, or do you got one today, or is it still Linz? Just Linz today?
No, I got one.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm here.
There's a lot of reboots and remakes coming out. I got a couple remakes of movies and reboots are coming out. I'm going to see if you guys are interested in it. Rob Lowe is actually asked about a St. Elmo's Fire reunion, I guess, that happens 40 years later after that movie. Would you guys watch that? A St. Elmo's Fire?
I didn't really watch the first one. I mean, I vaguely remember it as a little kid, but like it wasn't like something that it was appointment viewing.
Yeah.
It was like, I remember it always being on like the independent channel, like on the weekends when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess
No clue.
Okay, that was a question for Cappy.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a
Yeah,
Cappy
that's more
Morales.
Cappy's thing. I mean, it had a catchy song, right? St. Elmo's Fire.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
From the movie, but
Okay,
it was a TV show.
No, it was a movie with the Brat
You're
Pack.
thinking St. Elsewhere.
Oh, St.
Yeah, the
Elsewhere.
Brat Pack.
Which was a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Running Man. There's a remake
Yeah,
coming out in
I'll see
November.
that.
Yeah, in October. There's a Running Man. Glenn Powell.
Yeah, it was
Glenn Powell.
Schwarzenegger
Yeah.
and Richard Dawson.
Yes, Glenn Powell is playing Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I guess the game show host is Josh Brolin this time.
Okay, I'm down.
You down to watch that?
Yeah.
Sedano?
Yeah, Josh Brolin's a great actor.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're
All right,
running
this
for your life. Let's
is
go.
the one that involves everyone here. Street Fighter 2. They're making another Street Fighter 2 movie with 50 Cent as Balrog.
Wait, isn't that the one they did with Van Damme
Yes,
originally?
yes.
Yeah.
So 50 Cent is going to be Balrog, which is the boxer, the boxer in Street Fighter 2, and then also Cody Rhodes is going to be Guile, which was the Jean-Claude Van Damme role.
Oh, give me a break.
Roman Reigns is going to be Blanca, which is the guy from Brazil, with the electricity and all. You guys gonna play Street Fighter 2?
No, I have zero
What's going on with
interest.
you guys,
Really.
man?
Like zero.
I played it, but I don't really.
What's going on here, dude?
We're all disconnected today.
Man, what is going on, man?
I had Shinobi.
Honestly, like I vaguely even remember the Van
Street
Damme
Fighter
movie.
2 is what people is the best video game of all time. Probably.
I don't know about
Oh,
that.
no.
Chat room, back me up. Chat
Mario
room.
Kart, Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, come on.
Mario
Come on, you
Kart.
Mongols, back me up.
I mean, Mortal Kombat might be a better fighting game.
Mortal Kombat.
Well, actually, they're making another one of those too. That's coming out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess I'm out. I
Mario
guess I'm tapped
Kart
out.
and GoldenEye. Anyway.
Oh my.
Okay,
Golden Eye
so
or Golden Tea?
no, GoldenEye, like 007,
Golden Tee.
the man with the golden gun.
Come on, Golden Tee. Get out of here.
You gotta find the golden gun, and you can go into DK mode with the big heads. Yeah, and people have tournaments of that. Okay, so Brad Pitt was recently on the New Heights podcast with Jason Kelsey and Travis Kelsey.
Really?
And yeah.
Oh, because of the F1 movie.
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
Good movie.
Promoting the
Is
F1
it?
movie.
Yeah, I watched it. Good.
Go ahead.
How do you
Lindsay.
watch this? It's not even out yet.
F1.
Oh, I didn't think it was out yet.
You can actually even stream it, I think, right?
Not
I saw.
yet. It's coming out on Apple TV pretty soon. I saw
That's
it this
what it
weekend.
is.
What is it? F1?
Yeah. With
Oh,
Brad
yeah.
Pitt.
I decided to rewatch Ted Lasso because I was, after dealing with the mongrels this week, I decided to watch something more positive.
Believe.
Yeah.
Believe.
And I did notice it was on my screen, the F1 movie.
I saw the trailer for it on Apple, but I didn't see that you could buy it. 'Cause
Travis
I would
went
have bought it.
yesterday.
Yeah.
No, you can't buy it just yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's in the theater. But
So-
Travis
so he was
out
on the
there.
podcast.
So Brad Pitt was on their podcast
Yeah.
promoting his movie, and they asked him if he had ever been starstruck by any of his co-stars or anybody, any celebrities or anyone he's ever worked with. And he said that back when he did Thelma and Louise, when he was still fairly young.
Oh, a young guy, yeah.
Yeah, he was starstruck by Gina Davis
Yeah.
and Susan Sarandon,
course.
and he was just like, oh yeah, he was a babe in that movie, still is. But anyway, want to ask you guys. Have you ever been starstruck by like a celebrity or even an athlete while you were working?
The only time, very young in my career, Michael Jordan.
Oh, wow.
That was it. There's really never really been anyone. I guess no, not even like I don't know. I've never met like a actor that I've been like starstruck by. And I'm trying to think if there's a musician that I've met. I haven't met a ton of musicians, so I don't know if that qualifies. But yeah, the only athlete was Jordan. That was it.
Yeah, for me, Jerry West, the first time I saw him, first time I went to a Laker game, it's like maybe early 2000s. I was in the tunnel right there by the locker room. I'm like, oh, wow, that's the logo right there. That was the first time I actually felt something, but I was younger in the career. My first ever internship was with CNN, Democratic Convention 2000, and we had to be in the same booth as Jimmy Carter. And Secret Service pat us down, all that good stuff. But Jimmy Carter had a presence about him. But as far as the celebrities, Paul McCartney went to a Laker game a few years ago.
What?
Yeah, and I didn't know who he was. Like, looking at him, right?
Oh, come on.
No, I mean, I know him, but I didn't know that was him, right? People were standing around him. I'm like, who's that guy?
Yesterday.
No, but who's that old guy that was just standing there? Because he had, like, row 10. It wasn't...
Row
like,
10?
Yeah.
Really?
And then people were just, I can't tell. Then he walked by you, and you're like, oh, okay, I feel that presence right there.
Yeah.
That was it. And then, what's her name? Salma Hayek. She knows me.
One time downstairs in the lobby.
Selma,
One time in the lobby downstairs, I saw Stevie Wonder.
Did he see
you?
He did. He waved at me, actually.
It's funny.
I was actually.
We're done here.
That's the Shaq line.
That is Radio Tinder.
You
All
want
right.
to hear my starstruck story?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, go
Well,
ahead.
it was
We're just
on
over the break.
Bernie Kosar.
It was it was on the phone when I was producing my first show in Cleveland. We had Barack Obama on, and when he called
that's a good
in,
one.
it was like the White
Hello,
House,
Lindsay.
and then they were like, "We're going to hand it over to him," and I was like, "Hello?"
Ramona was starstruck by Barack Obama. We were all at the 2019 NBA Finals, and he gave her I like your work.
Oh,
and then,
wow, that's
and
amazing.
then kept it moving.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Everybody watches around the horn.
All right. LeBron's passive aggressiveness knows no bounds, and today was no exception to that. We'll get to that. Bobby Marks will be in studio at 5 o'clock, so mongrels, tell all your other mongrels to jump back into YouTube in just a few minutes. 710 ESPN.
And the Lakers finally get a big man. Day
I
3
showed up
of
at the hospital and was told I couldn't see my children. Then I showed up in court and was told they may not be mine. Then I was accused of anything and everything. Sexual assault, domestic violence, substance abuse. You name it, I heard it. I was forced to go long periods of time without seeing my children. That experience of being wrongfully treated ignited something in me. I can look at a father and honestly tell him, I know how he is feeling. I've been there. At Real Fathers Rights, we care about your family, your livelihood, and your future.
Orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Is it time to downsize? Selling your home doesn't have to be a hassle. With Seller's Advantage, skip agents, commissions, and costly repairs. Get a fair, competitive cash offer without worrying about the details falling through. Chris Chavez, a real customer, says, quote, Seller's Advantage offered me more than I expected. The process was fast, easy, and much better than using a realtor. End quote. Call 888-390-AS-IS or visit sellersadvantage.com for your free cash offer.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Good Wednesday afternoon, Beto sitting in for Cappy. This is the Waba Grill 4 p.m. hour. Get to Waba Grill for their $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. Get a 5-piece pork veggie dumplings with sweet chili dipping sauce and a value-sized premium Wa beverage drink like their new refreshing Ice Dragon Fruit Mango Lemonade.
Oh, the Ice Dragon.
Sedano called me the Ice Dragon yesterday. Enjoy both for just $5 after 3 p.m. only at Waba Grill. And on this day back in 2001, the #1 hit, Usher, You Remind Me. See the thing. Sedano and Cap continues your Wednesday afternoon with Beto right now.
It's a good jam. By the way, of course, Radio Tinder last segment brought to you by our friends at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. If you're in the market for new flooring, shop at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, where every day is a deal. No gimmicks. Call them at 866-62-FLOOR. Or go to the web and check them out there, hernandezwholesaleflooring.net. No sale beats wholesale.
I need to call him for my sister. She's redoing her house.
Okay, there you go. You want me to connect you with Steven?
Well, she actually knows
One half
them.
of the crate. Oh, that's right. You mentioned that.
She didn't know that she knew them,
Right.
and she saw the picture. She's like, wait a minute, I know those guys. I got to call them for her house.
Oh, and mongrels, stop it before you even start. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. Don't do it.
She's going to take a sip.
Okay. Anyhow. All right, so Lindsay, explain LeBron's passive-aggressive behavior for the summer of 2025.
Yeah, what did he do today?
You didn't see it? So he posted on Twitter and Instagram a picture of himself. He looks like he's riding a golf cart, and he's wearing a hat that says "Welcome Home."
And he's back in Ohio.
Nothing else.
Oh, jeez.
That's a total LeBron, very well thought out move. He did that on purpose, 1,000%.
Oh, no question.
I love it. I think it's so funny that he just is such a troll. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, look, man.
He's playing into it.
He is. He does this every so often. It's the time of the calendar, right, where these things tend to happen. And, again, I will just say what I said. Do we have the Windhorse sound from earlier today? Yeah. So Brian was on Get Up this morning and was asked about, like, LeBron potentially being moved, whatever, this, that, and the other. And here's what he said.
When the idea of a trade came up, I slammed the door on it and said, first off, LeBron wants to be a Laker. If he didn't want to be a Laker, he opted out. He has a no-trade clause. Everything that Bontemps just said. Over the last 3 days, I have unlocked the door. I wouldn't say that I'm opening the door. I would just say I've unlocked the door. The door I slammed and locked on Sunday, I'm not 100% sure. And that is because my conversations over the last 3 days have crystallized that the Lakers are essentially viewing LeBron as an expiring contract. And that may sound like a toss-off statement, but that's not insignificant. LeBron has never been an expiring contract, quite literally. Never in his 23-year career, over the 9 contracts he's signed, over all the different teams he's been on, he's never been on the last year of his contract. He's never been 40 years old. He's never not been the franchise player on his team.
Wendy, opening the door.
Unlocking it. Unlocking it.
All right. He had shut it, though, right?
He had shut it and locked it, and now he's unlocking it. I just think it's funny how he's like, it's not insignificant.
I would agree with him. Listen, I've said, this is not like a 0% chance that he stays. And look, I said this too the other day. I don't think the Lakers would be all like completely torn up if they're treating him, and it's because of what Brian said. They're treating him like an expiring contract at this stage. So I think the Lakers, if they could get anything back for LeBron, they'd do it. And I mentioned this during Crosstalk. Everyone just assumes Mike Brown is the thing. And I don't think LeBron has ever really had like this huge affinity for whoever his coach is. Like some guys have worked, some guys haven't.
Ty Lue, he did.
Yes and no is what I would say. He's had more, it's
like he'll deal with whoever's there.
No, yes and no. What I would say is the Ty Lue thing is while he's always respected Ty, I would say there's more fondness of Ty after he coached him as opposed to while he was coaching him. And here's what I would also add. To me, it's not about Mike Brown. It's about there has been a strained relationship, let's call it, between Leon Rose and the Knicks, who was the big CAA agent for basketball before taking the Knicks job, and Rich Paul's Clutch Sports, okay?
There's a rift there.
Well, a strained relationship. I don't want to call it a rift. A rift is a little more excessive, is what I would say. And they've been rivals, let's just call that.
Mm-hmm.
So there have been some issues there, even over clients, right, at times. And so Jordan Clarkson going to the Knicks, I think, is a first olive branch in rebuilding a bridge between both sides.
Okay.
Helping to unlock the door.
Correct. And if I had to guess, okay, I haven't spoken to Brian about this, although I probably should have because I did television with him, but I didn't ask him. And he's on a flight right now. I would guess maybe that's what he's alluding to, or at least that has to be some semblance of it.
The olive branch.
Yeah, and I do think that I've been a staunch believer that LeBron would not be playing for a fourth team, right? Just doesn't make sense. It feels a little like I didn't like Shaq playing for all those teams at the end either, if I'm being honest with you. So, but I guess if there was one team that if he could go there and deliver, and he always thinks that, like his place in history, I've repeatedly said that over time. He's very cognizant of that. If he goes to New York, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, nor am I saying even if it's likely. I would say it's a...
Don't clip this, Parker.
Don't, Parker. It's a very minute possibility. Jonathan, I see you. But if he were, let's just say for argument's sake, if he were to go to New York and actually get them over the hump to win a championship...
Oh, that's different.
He would then have won a championship with the crown jewel of the Lakers. He will have won his first title, won two of them, in Miami. Then gave Cleveland its first title in 50 years as a city.
Cleveland, this is for you.
And then if he somehow won in New York, it would be a hell of a career resume accomplament.
Immortal.
Right?
Immortal.
Yeah. If you win in New York, all right, guys, that's it. Wrap it up. We're done here, right? That to put the Knicks in that kind of situation, but that's a lot of ifs, right? There's just so many things.
And when do the Knicks have to give quite a few in order to get LeBron to make if we're going to get into that
Well,
stuff.
you probably listen, if you're the Lakers, would you take Mikal Bridges?
Of course.
Would you take Mitchell Robinson?
Oh, yeah.
Because there's your starting center.
Exactly.
There's your starting
If
center.
you're the Lakers, you get out of the LeBron business because he's an expiring contract and you're getting something back. It's a no-brainer. If there's something,
if it's Mikal Bridges and Mitchell Robinson, if I'm the Lakers, I would consider it. If that's where he indeed wants to go, I think there's a deal that you can make without having to use assets. By assets, I mean like draft capital.
Now, if Rob does that.
But if you're the Knicks, is there enough guys defending? Like, let's flip it from the Knicks' perspective. Yeah. Jalen Brunson is not a plus defender. Karl Anthony Towns is not a plus defender. LeBron is in the regular season. He was a great defender in the second half last year, basically from like January 1st on. But are you going to ask him to do that again? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's where the questions lie. OG Anunoby's an excellent defender, but...
And which is easier path to get to the Western to the
Well,
finals?
there's definitely an easier path in the East.
Like if the Lakers are stumbling,
it's not like the Knicks are this complete squad either at that point.
If the Lakers are slow out of the gate, not really going anywhere. Like right now, I'm saying LeBron's not going anywhere. That's what I just think. I'm thinking, what do you have? No, because you're going to go in that fourth team. He worries about the legacy part because Kevin Durant is now what's the label? Oh, he goes on so many different teams. LeBron, four different teams. You couldn't finish out your tenure with the Lakers. He's worried about that, even though he'll say not. He is. But if the Lakers are middle of the pack, not going anywhere, not getting better, Ayton is Ayton, Luke is kind of going through it, and you have a chance to leave, these little morsels could probably be a little bit more, right? These little rumors can get a little louder. The chirping can get going. It's going to be a fascinating year this year.
I was going to ask, do you think that if nothing happens during the offseason, that how they perform during season would change whether or not, he would want to leave or whether they trade him? Because if they're treating him like...
Well, you're saying at the deadline?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Because I'm if you're treating him as an expiring contract...
Well, why don't we ask Bobby that?
Okay.
Is he around already?
Yeah, I think he was finishing up a radio hit, and then he's going to...
Okay, cool. Let's ask Bobby. He's going to be in studio. The great Bobby Marks, front office insider, will join us. Mongrels, ask your questions. Make them legit, though, okay? Because we don't want to waste the man's time.
Absolutely.
Okay, he's doing us a favor. COT on Twitter, same thing. And in Twitter in general, same thing. I'll ask him if he'll take calls. I don't want to ask him. If he's uncomfortable with calls, then we won't do it. But we'll do it via the internet. So we'll do that. Bobby Marks, the great Bobby Marks, front office insider, next.
Saturday, it's a showdown deep in the heart of Texas. LAFC invade Q2 Stadium for a Western Conference battle with Austin FC.
LAFC!
Can the black and gold grab all 3 points on the road? LAFC face off with Austin FC.
Pre-match coverage starts Saturday at 5 p.m.
On the home of the black and gold, 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Have you checked out the new Park West Bicycle Casino? Only 9 miles from downtown LA, right off the 710, the bike has been reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and 200 table games. On July 1st and July 15th, buy in for $100 and get $100 in Lucky Chips plus $50 in free play chips. ESPN listeners get $30 in match play when they walk in and say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino. Real cards, real prizes, real close.
Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER. GAR-001291, 001289, 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
Oh, hey.
Hey, thanks for meeting me here. It's just, you're my only lawyer friend, and I need your professional opinion. You see that brand new Hyundai Tucson out there? That's all I paid for it.
Let me get back to you on that.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Santa Fe models. And check out our other great deals at your Hyundai dealer today. Offer ends September 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
This is the city, Los Angeles, California.
It's 5 p.m. in the Southland.
Turn it up, man.
Time to blow that 5 o'clock whistle with Sedano and Cappy.
That's right, it's the 5 o'clock hour on Sedano and Cap. And it's time for 30 minutes non-stop.
Sedano and Cap on 710 ESPN.
With fun and frivolity, tomfoolery and hijinks, and Cappy doing his thing, thanks to our friends at Real Father's Rights. Real Father's Rights, the father's rights attorney.
Visit RFR710.com or call 833-ESPN-710.
Let's do it, 5 o'clock in the Southland.
30 minutes of non-stop Sedano and Cap starts now.
You ready for this?
And time for the Real Father's Rights 5 o'clock hour on 710 ESPN. Let's do it, Jack!
All right, Bobby Marks is in the house. Kind enough to join us in studio after this man is being worked to the bone here over the last 3 days.
I'll tell you what, I got 5 hours sleep last night, and I woke up like a new man.
Look at that. 5 hours will do it for you.
I'm nervous that if I go to sleep and sleep for like 8 hours, that I'll feel worse. It's like you're just
no, you won't. Trust me when I tell you that. Get the 8 hours if you can get them.
How are your hands right now? Because every time I watch you on TV, you're at the monitor, you're at the screen, you're pushing buttons everywhere.
It's funny. This is actually the first year I started doing it using the iPad with me. Because those touch screens it's kind of hit or miss.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
if you can touch it a bunch of times, it doesn't
the
work.
trade machine, I'm like hitting it. And then I figured,
iPad's
the
way
iPad
easier.
is where it's at.
Yeah.
Yes.
Way easier. All right.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people with questions.
Sure.
Okay. Do you mind if we take a couple calls in the interim?
Awesome.
All right, Lindsay, we'll open it up.
All right, for those
No, actually, I want Funchy to I want just for the gimmick of it, I want Funchy to screen them because I want him to argue with people.
Do I need to hook up my headphones?
Yeah, I would say
we'll
his headphones on.
And wait to argue with people.
Yeah, we'll hook him up. Beto will take care of you. All right. So while I've got you, let's start with we're going to spend a lot of time on the Lakers, obviously. Yeah. So they signed DeAndre Ayton today. You talked about this yesterday on television because we potted it up. There weren't like all these great options available to them. But if you had your druthers, let's say all things were equal at the beginning of free agency, and you could have picked any center to play with the Lakers, who would you have picked, and where does Ayton fall in that list or that category?
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at Ayton, Brook Lopez, Clint Capella,
guys who were attainable, right?
Luke Cornett. I
Right.
mean, I would have liked Luke Cornett. I mean, I think he's what he did in Boston is. I think San Antonio is pretty fortunate getting him. I think
7 blocks in a playoff game.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have been like the sexy name and stuff, but
Right.
I think what he's done on the court, I would probably put Ayton ahead of those not Cornett, but I would have Brook. I like Brook. I mean, we drafted him in New Jersey, but I think Brook's more of a perimeter guy right there at this stage.
He's a pop guy. Yeah.
But I do like offensively. DeAndre. I think 82% field goal at the rim. Defensively is my concern. Less than 1 block per game.
And willingness.
Yes.
Yeah. Desire.
But I would say, based on what this market would be, I would have probably you got him for $8 million. I mean, that's a bargain.
That part of it is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would have put him, I don't think it's like a consolation prize. Like, it would have been interesting what would have happened if DeAndre Ayton wasn't on the board.
Right.
Where are you?
Oof, then you're down to like Mo Wagner.
Yeah, because the Ayton, I think the Ayton buyout happened Monday.
Right.
Or and we start free agency, and it's like, so that would have been the interesting thing as far as there. But I think, listen, we gave him an incomplete coming into today. I don't know where the grade is, a C, C plus maybe. I like Jake LaRavia. I like Jake LaRavia.
Tell us about Jake LaRavia.
Yeah, listen, he's a wing that was played in Memphis last year, was in Sacramento, can make shots, hustle guy. He's got good size, 6'7", 6'8". I think Laker fans will like him. Kind of like a glue guy. I don't want to say what's similar to what Dorian did here, but I don't want to compare guys, but I don't know if there'll be a significant drop-off from what Dorian Finney-Smith gave you compared to what Jake LaRavia will give you.
Offensively.
Yes.
Yeah.
Defensively is different. Because
Right.
I think, Dorian, gives you certainly a different identity with the ability to guard, multiple positions there.
Right. Okay, so the elephant in the room is what we're watching here next, I guess, is two things. Number one, the Lakers still have one first-round pick that they can trade because they've got 31 and 32.
Yeah.
I actually texted you this the other day. And you told me that this was the allotment for this season. It's already it factored in. What else do they need when you look at this roster?
Well, when we did the show today that you hosted, we put the depth chart up and we looked at it like, whoa, right? When you look at kind of your backcourt, and when you look at your backcourt of depth-wise, and you look at Gabe Vincent.
You have Goodwin, Bronny, Connect, Shake Milton, Kleber,
It's not great.
LaRavia, and Vanderbilt.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
And the rookie they just drafted.
Yeah, Thero.
Yeah, who's not going to be a player this year?
That he's playing Summer League. He's out.
Right.
And that's the thing. When you guys watch the Minnesota series, it's like you got to have 8 or 9 guys.
Yeah.
I remember when we did the show, right? I think it was after game 1 or 2, and they're like, "Well, what's the difference?" I said, "I know what I'm getting in Minnesota. Like the 8 guys, roll them out. Like I 4 or 5 with the Lakers. I know what where are the other 3?" And so I do think you've got to somehow shore up your backcourt depth. I don't know. The free agent list is not great.
Right.
What's left?
They'd have to do it by trade. That's why I bring up the first-round pick.
Yeah.
Because to get anyone of substance that can play they need another wing, right? Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
Yeah. And there were rumors about Andrew Wiggins, but my guess is if you want Andrew Wiggins, you're going to have to part one of those first-rounders. Is that an accurate assessment?
That is accurate because you don't really have much seconds left. And the other two, what you have in expiring is with Gabe Vincent and Rui and Maxi Kleber, it's a matter of if Miami's looking just to kind of shed money and get off that contract with Wiggins, who's got a player option for next year. I'm fascinated by what's the move if you can get you better incrementally. Will the Lakers not do it if it's going to cost them that 32 pick, even though it can maybe help a little bit right now based on trying to preserve something for another move down the road here? And that's where you have to be, if you had 4 first, you could play, if you had all these seconds and 4 first, but when you have such a limited allotment, you're very protective as far as what you want to give up in a trade.
So the Luka part of it plays into this because that's the other thing we're watching here. And August 2nd is the first day that he could sign an extension. But and they are clearly consulting with him on stuff that's been widely reported. But I don't know. Like I wouldn't be super satisfied with the way this thing has worked out thus far, unless there's another. Yeah, if from a Luka perspective, unless there's another move to be had. So I get you want to preserve the draft capital, but don't you also have to show him you're willing to win in a window where he's in his prime?
You do. I think you can run into trouble if it's the cap space game. If you're saying, well, we're going to wait until the summer of 26 or
even 27 in some circles have been reported.
And waiting on cap space to say, hey, here we have $100 million. We can reshape this whatever we want. Because what happens is the cap space game goes away when all of a sudden these extensions start. Extensions basically have eliminated most of how much flexibility teams have in how much teams have in free agency here to go out and do that here. So I think and it takes away the best players. Like, if everyone thought that, hey, maybe Shea's going to be available in 27, well, no, he's not now. And Jalen Williams and the quality of free agents and how it's diminished is because a lot of players are signing extensions.
Because that's where the most money's after.
They're
them,
taking
right?
guaranteed money.
Right.
I mean, and the rules are more flexible for teams, whether it be years or the amount that they can get. I mean, we put that list up today, George, on TV about the players who are extension eligible, and it was like, wow, like it was like an all NBA type team. And the reality is probably, I don't know, 8 out of 10 of those will probably sign free extensions and not be there. Like Austin Reeves is different in that boat, because what happened with Austin is that his contract hurts him. It helps the Lakers.
Right.
But then it hurts the Lakers here. And that was the most they were able to give him at the time because he had early bird rights, and that was the maximum allowed. The problem is that the most he can get in a raise is 140% off that number of the average player. So it's really only like
from
18,
like 12
19,
and a half to like 23 or something like that.
it's only like
Right.
18, 19. It's not
And
like
that helps the Lakers.
Well, it did
until
they needed to include him in a deal.
It did, and
Right.
then it might not, because
Right.
now you're basically going to have to play out this season and wait until next season to re-sign him to a new deal that he thinks he can get more than what is.
And
I
he
think it's
will.
4 for 87 is the most they can offer him right now.
I really love the infographics that you have on your Twitter. Right?
Well,
It's helped out a lot.
Well, here's the thing. I will credit a 19-year-old young man who's just finished his freshman year at USC, named my son.
Yes.
Who taught me technology on how to do it, because I got tired of paying someone out of pocket, even though they were providing great graphics for me.
Yeah.
And he said, "Dad, there's this thing called Canva.
Yeah, you can just learn to do it yourself.
And it works wonders for you.
Yeah. You can do it on your phone.
Yeah. Well, the reason because your Laker one says 11 guaranteed contract, 2 non/partial, below the first apron, $5.6 million.
Yeah. So here we'll do some math. So you hard capped yourself. Right, you hard cap I know the Players Association doesn't like when I say hard cap. You trigger you triggered the first apron. You triggered it when you signed Jake LaRavia for more than $5.7 million of your non-tax mid-level exception. That automatically triggered it on Monday when that happened, and then you signed Ayton for that. So your big exception is now spoken for. Right. You have another smaller exception, which we call the biannual, which is at $5.1 million. Okay, you could use that. But when you look at the math, right, I think they're at the first apron's 195 and change, and they're at what, 191?
Yeah, 190.3.
Yeah, so you have to fit everything under that 195 number, and you're not allowed to exceed it under any circumstances.
Because you said on your graphic, biannual 5.1 million, and the Lakers are 190.3, so they're with 195.9 is
So what I think
right there.
So what I think you could see some cap gymnastics here is you have two players. Well, I would say let's say 2 players with Goodwin and Milton. Right, they're at 3, and I don't know, Jordan's at 2 and change. Probably more Shake. What will happen is that for them to get another 800,000, like he could go and you can bring in a $2.2 million player. Okay. Or what you could do also, he could go and your second round pick, okay, his salary cap number is 1.2. So you could sign him, waive Jordan Shake Milton, for example. That saves you 1.8. Like it's like napkin math, right? We're adding all these numbers up, and then that gives you more flexibility to use your biannual exception. But you just have to. We saw, with Dallas last year, right? Remember, we were like, oh, my God. You probably did a bunch of their games. Like, they got 8 guys available because they only have 50,000 below the apron.
Well, we actually started to flex out of those games, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that the inability to replace players, because when you become hard capped, it just it limits you from a flexibility standpoint.
Right. So, let's go to a couple calls here, and then we will ask some more questions here with the great Bobby Marks, ESPN NBA front office insider. Let's go to Dave and Duarte. Dave, what's your question for Bobby?
I said first I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your objective Laker reporting. You're better than the 2 previous hosts on the other show. I want to thank you for that. Bobby, I wanted to ask you, why does LeBron act like he has leverage when Stevie Wonder can even see that he has no leverage anymore? So I don't understand why he's acting like it and acting like a spoiled child when he doesn't have any leverage anymore. Father Time has taken all that away, and yet he wants to still be indifferent. Can you explain that?
Let's see. We'll give the political answer here. Politically correct.
Yeah,
listen, I think.
Don't get yourself aggregated.
No, I would. No, listen, I already did.
Yeah.
I got aggregated on Monday by my own company. So,
That's okay.
I would
It happens
say,
to George, too.
listen, I think, first of all, LeBron is a generational player. We can all agree at probably top 2 or top 3 player. I would say this. I think it's a lot different than 5 years ago when LeBron, was 5 years younger, and you knew he was going to be part of this organization for the foreseeable future. I think things have changed significantly, and especially since you acquired Luka. This is no offense to LeBron, but moving forward, this is the reality. It's Luka's team,
No question.
and Rob Pelinka probably won't say it on the record, but that's the reality of it here. So I think if you're LeBron and you're watching some of these moves, it's like, okay, are we trying to do stuff to win now, or are we trying to, preserve flexibility or draft picks for down the road? And that is the difficult job of being the general manager of the Lakers, where you're trying to thread the needle on both. You're trying to win now with both them on your roster. And then you're also trying to say, like, okay, I don't want to give up a 2032 pick because it might win us 3 more extra games. Like that is difficult here. I will say this, and I'm not. This is not my money. I don't want to speak for LeBron's $53 million contract, and he's earned the right, and he probably earned the right to double that amount if this was a baseball player. If he wanted out, he would have opted out and had the ability to go sign with the other 29 teams. Like, that's the reality, right? Like, if you thought your best opportunity to win a championship was somewhere else,
right,
and you weren't happy, you could have opted out. But the other side said, wait a minute, I'm not giving up $53 million. Why am I doing that? Or I could put maybe a little pressure on the organization here. So it's a fascinating thing to watch as this unfolds, because it's going to be fascinating as far as what's the next move going to be. Is there another move out there? And what is the temperament of him when he looks at what this roster is? Because I used this example this morning on Get Up. The Lakers and the Golden State are kind of tied together in a way, because both of them,
they've invested in old guys.
Yeah, well, and both of them made big in-season additions.
Luka and Jimmy
Butler.
Yeah.
And what's happened is, if this was a marathon, they got out to mile 6 in the lead, man. And then all of a sudden, OKC, Denver, Houston, Dallas, all of a sudden caught up to them and have lapped them.
Right.
All those teams have gotten better significantly here. And if you're LeBron, you're saying, wait a minute, like we were a 3 seed last year. The goal was to get better. And now I'm looking at the roster, and now we're in that tier
6,
3
7 area,
teams and
yeah.
stuff. So you're
5
looking at
at best, right?
This is not how I want to end, my career. And you're looking at what's, the next move and stuff. So, hey, I respect the heck out of him, and I respect the heck out of Rich Paul, who I think is a terrific agent and always looks out for the best of his interests. But objectionably, like, if you really wanted to go somewhere else, you could have just declined the option and done that.
But decline $52 million?
Is that the political correct answer?
That was good. That was good right there.
I think you threaded the needle there. So let me ask you this. Is there, like what do we know about, we've heard the availability of a guy like, let's say, Walker Kessler.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how real is stuff like that? And could you pull it off for what the Lakers actually have?
It's interesting. If how available is Walker Kessler now with Austin Ainge as general manager,
right,
or president of basketball operations? Because, I think things are going to start changing a little bit in Utah as far as, listen, they positioned themselves a year ago to try to get the number 1 pick, and I think. We'll see if they position themselves and if they try to get a number 1 pick again here. I think they'll be better. And I think Walker, who is extension eligible and could be a restricted free agent, I think he's part of what their future is. As I said, the 1 first-round pick, I don't know if that gets you in the game for a player like that. Damn.
All right, let me grab another one here. Who do we have here? We have Adrian. Adrian, go ahead, Adrian.
Hey guys, how's it going? Love the show. I was just part of my question was to do with exactly where do you this puts the Lakers in the Western Conference? I know obviously OKC, Houston's made some significant changes, and Dallas
got it
in the right way.
Yeah, your phone was crapping out a little bit there for a second. Where do you have the Lakers? I mean, you kind of started to allude to it, but let's go down, right? So let's just say, for argument's sake, OKC defending champions, probably one.
Yep.
Okay, then after that, where would you go?
I'd probably go Houston.
Right.
Second best record and got better.
Yeah.
I would probably go Denver 3.
Mm-hmm.
I like their additions with the three with Bruce Brown, Valanciunas, and Tim Hardaway Jr. You get some veterans off your bench. Number 4, I think you still got to put Minnesota in the equation.
I agree.
You know,
Back-to-back conference
Yeah,
finals.
they lost Nikhil Alexander-Walker,
Yeah.
but certainly they bring back most of that roster. Now we're going down the path of Warriors, Mavericks
where they are, right? Like, can they
Kyrie's
compete?
got to get back healthy.
Right.
Lakers certainly here. I mean,
In
it's
that
still,
next group. Yeah.
it's still a team that, as I said, won 50 games and was the 3rd seed overall. And I think, 17 out of 18 of us picked to win in the first round.
Yeah.
So it's not like and I get this statement, from Rich and everything like that, but it's not like he's walking back into a 20-win team,
right?
Too, so it's as I said, it's an interesting situation because you have a generational top 2 player of all time,
right,
entering the last year of his contract, and then you have another generational player in the prime of his career that you're trying to ink long-term for an extension and build that roster around moving forward.
And I would also say, I would say this for JJ and Rob and the organization, is the most challenging thing, I think, in sports is coaching the aging superstar or, managing the aging superstar, because they think that the guy in the mirror, they believe is still the guy who it was a couple years ago in a lot of ways. And I'm not saying LeBron isn't self-aware of his age, because he's certainly mentioned it enough over the last couple of years. But I think he views it this way. This is just me interpreting, right? And just kind of projecting. Last year, basically, JJ referenced that they got blown out by the Heat by 40 points in Miami. And from that point on, he had a conversation with LeBron about defense. And LeBron was really good defensively the rest of the way, basically from January 1st on. I just don't know if you can ask him to do that. And if you look at this roster, you're probably going to have to ask him to do that again. I think that part of it is also something that weighs on him. It's less really about the offense. I think it's more about, do we got guys that can be two-way players here?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you saw in the playoffs, defense, getting stops at the end of games, that matters.
Yep.
That's important. It's not really – and we saw a good stretch of games from certainly All-Star break or maybe even, maybe early February where they defended their tails off.
Yeah.
There was a system in place here that certainly could be replicated here. But I do worry a year older, as far as where this roster is, the 8 in a pickup, Laravia, and as I said, you kind of need some shooting here, but it's not just about the shooting; it's about the ability to defend.
Right.
All right, Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
Right. We know he's going to get a big contract coming up.
What is the max he could get after for
right
next
now?
offseason? Next offseason.
I mean, he can get up to 25% of the salary cap. I don't think he will.
Right.
But
that's what he could get. But you're looking at. So if we projected that if he would have taken the deal this year, it's like 22, 23 where you start.
Yeah.
So that next one, at the very least, will start. My guess is closer to 30.
It could. I mean, the market plays a role.
Sure.
But the market could be really good next year for free agents, unless it starts to shrink a little bit with some of this potential room that teams could have. But yeah, I mean, he'll be one of the better free agents, non all NBA type guys that could be out there. And as the salary cap grows, I mean, it's only going up 7%, but as the salary cap grows, so do some of the numbers.
So is he somebody the Lakers should be trading? Try to get something back?
Well, then it's the acquiring team runs into the same problem because he's not going to extend with them.
Yeah.
So you have to treat it like the acquiring team is. You almost have to treat it like we call it pre-free agency. It's similar to what Toronto did with Brandon Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto did not have the money to sign if Brandon Ingram became a free agent. So if you're a team out there and you really like Austin Reeves and you can't sign him with cap space, then you could try to trade for him and then use the next year to, basically, I call it in-house recruiting, right? Like you kind of get the guy in your building and
get
then
him in there. Hopefully he likes.
Yeah.
Well, it's what Toronto tried to do with Kawhi. It just didn't work out for them.
Yeah.
I mean, they won a championship, so it did work out, but they weren't able to keep him. One last one on Austin, and then I want to ask you more of a big picture question. And thank you, Bobby, for hanging out with us here. Bobby Marks, ESPN NBA front office insider, kind enough to be here with us during our commercial-free 30 minutes. So my biggest issue with the Lakers and why I've always felt like once he does get a bigger contract, more than the $12.5 million that he currently makes, they should consider trading him is I don't believe, even in a post-LeBron era, that you can have a backcourt of two guys who can be picked on defensively. You're only as good in the playoffs as your weakest link defensively. And I think that's why they eventually would have to deal him. I think Rob's doing the right thing by saying that he wants to build around those three, et cetera, because it helps build his value to some extent if people buy that. But I think that's really the ultimate situation with him is you just can't have him and Luka in the same backcourt together.
Well,
long term.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing too: when this CBA that we're under right now, it prioritizes how you slot players. So, for example, you can have two guys making $40 million plus, but when you start paying your third best player $30 million plus,
now it's an issue.
Then it eliminates what else you can do from your depth perspective.
Correct.
Like I said this during the year, I think in the playoffs, like Indiana's roster, how that was built was perfect under the CBA. You had two guys in Siakam and Haliburton, and then you had everyone else under $20 million.
Crazy.
And Dallas is kind of, if you look at how Dallas is structured, they're kind of similar. Like different ways of how they added. And then what happens now is then all of a sudden Miles Turner wants to raise. And now Miles Turner's in Milwaukee. Right? So that's where it really hurts you as far as how you slot everyone else after that. Because the one thing you don't want to do, we saw it with Phoenix. You don't want to get three guys that are making top heavy, and then all of a sudden you get eight guys on minimum contracts, and you just spin the wheel every summer, replacing them.
I'll never forget going to Phoenix that first year KD was there, and I looked at the rest of the roster. I'm like, these guys should be in the G League. Like, it was crazy.
That bad.
But that's the problem you're in. Now, big picture question. We've talked about, like, trading for guys, instead of traditional free agency. Why do you think the shift was? Was it simply just guys would take the bird in the hand as opposed to two in the bush? Is that as simple as that?
As far as extensions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think, the rules are more flexible. The rules that were put in now give players more of an advantage to lock up long-term deals. Now, it's funny, the Players Association has been a piñata for the apron rules.
Right.
And you can make that argument, and people don't like it and stuff, and it makes teams be more creative. But it also has helped the middle class more, too, of players, because it gives them more flexibility, trade-wise, flexibility-wise, extension rules. The extension rules were a little bit more watered down under the old CBA, but it just gives the players the maximum earning that they can go right now. And you see it every October with the rookies. We see it. There's been one rookie extension, Jabari Smith, and we see it on the day before the last day of the regular season. All of a sudden, 10 guys sign because there's a deadline. And when you have a deadline, you're forced to take guaranteed money right now. And I think that's where players look at it, where I don't want to risk getting hurt. If I can get something now, I'm going to do that. And then that weakens free agency. So it's an interesting kind of balance there.
Yeah. And then lastly, you started to allude to it there as well. I feel like the NBA, because of the second apron, and it's in essence a hard cap. I know the league doesn't like that.
It is.
Yeah, but it is.
No, it is.
Because it restricts you
exactly
to build your roster in a lot of ways.
Because here, I'll give you an example. So Boston, we know what they've done the last 2 weeks, right? They had a projected salary of $550 million, and now they're down to like $250.
Right.
Okay? They have not triggered the second apron. There's no violation here, but they're acting as a quasi hard cap.
Correct.
Because if they exceed it and finish the season, their first round pick gets frozen again. So essentially, they are saying we are never going to exceed it, even though we haven't triggered it.
Right. So I think it's basically the NFLization of the NBA in a lot of ways, where you can't pay everyone, clearly, as we've discussed. And the draft is going to become more valuable. Whatever player development stuff, the G League, et cetera, has to become more valuable because you need those cost-controlled contracts. And we're going to see a lot more churning particularly, in this case, let's just call it, in the NFL, they like to say the bottom 10 or 15 of the 53-man roster. I would say in the NBA, at the very least, the bottom 5 to 7 places in the roster. Is that a fair assessment of where we could be heading?
It could be. I mean, it prioritizes players on two-way contracts more. I know they're not playoff eligible, but you do get 50 games of them, and it does as you mentioned, the draft. It puts a huge emphasis on that.
You can't miss.
Yeah, you can't miss on a player that. You know what? It also puts an emphasis on. We saw it in Denver last year. Like Denver had their lone exception was the tax level 5.7 or 5.1, and they signed Dario Saric, who didn't play.
Right.
So when you sign these guys to one of your lone resources, like you need Deandre Ayton and Jake LaRavia to play and play well.
Correct.
For you to have a chance.
Yes. And
to have a chance.
Well, I mean, I don't want to.
No, but that's where the Lakers
in the game. You
be
can't.
competitive.
If those two signings flop,
you're
screwed.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and ultimately, I do think long term, I think it'll be beneficial to the league. I mean, we've already seen the 7 different champions. I think the more, as you said, it helped the middle class of franchises, and I think the more and more fans across the board of the 30 teams feel like their team has a shot.
Yeah.
I think that's better for the sport.
Well, listen, if you're a fan of Orlando and Atlanta, you're waking up this morning thinking, we have a chance to win the Eastern Conference.
Right.
They probably didn't a year ago.
Right.
So it does balance it out more. There are certain things we could tweak and stuff. I don't get the argument where it breaks up teams that draft well. Like someone
that
said
should be rewarded.
Yes,
is what you're saying.
that should be but someone said, well, Cleveland drafted really well, but you also traded for Donovan Mitchell and Jared
traded
Allen.
4 first-round picks or whatever.
So I think there would have been maybe a little bit more balance, where maybe a guy you draft, his number doesn't fully count against the apron.
Yeah,
maybe it's like 75%, and you get a little more flexibility there.
All right. Well, send it in.
I will.
Yeah, send it in. See what the league thinks.
I'm going to be retired by the next time that CBA comes around. 45 years? No.
Bobby, our YouTube chat, very interested.
Yes.
What kind of tacos do you like?
Oh, yeah. Now while you're in L.A.
Your kid goes to USC. He's got to teach you something.
I know. I don't. I actually had tacos last night at Yard House.
There you go. No, those are good.
Those aren't bad.
Those
aren't bad. Those aren't bad.
We'll take you down the street. Don't worry. I'll figure it out.
I've seen a couple on the, like street vendors.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
That's Beto's your guy when it comes to that. All right. Bobby Marks, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Bobby Marks, ESPN NBA front office insider. Mark Spears will join us before the end of the show. He may be here in a couple of minutes. We'll talk to him about the Dame situation. Looks like the Lakers could be in on Dame. So we'll do that. Stick around, 710 ESPN.
And the Lakers finally get a big man. Day 3 of NBA free agency brings Deandre Ayton to the purple and gold. We're talking about it all afternoon on the home of the purple and gold.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
These offers will blow you away during the Red, White, and Vroom sales event at Ocean Subaru of Fullerton. Get a complimentary gift when you purchase a new vehicle, like a Solo stove cooler and mobile AC, Blackstone outdoor griddle, Turtle Box speaker, or a $500 Visa gift card. For complete details, visit OceanSubaruOC.com or come into Ocean Subaru on Euclid Street in Fullerton.
With approved credit through Subaru Motors Finance, not all buyers of vehicles will qualify. Choice of gift at dealer discretion must not exceed $500. Offers do not combine and are not valid on previous purchases. See dealer for complete details. Expires 7/06/25.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
Hey, it's Cap. Inheriting a home can be overwhelming, but Seller's Advantage makes it easy. One customer shared, quote, inheriting a home felt like too much work. Seller's Advantage gave us a reasonable offer, handled everything, and closed in 3 weeks. I highly recommend them. Skip repairs and headaches. Call Seller's Advantage today at 888-390-AS-IS or visit sellersadvantage.com for your free cash offer.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-372-2017. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017.
It's Sedano and Kap, your Wednesday afternoon. Big deal or no deal in just a moment. But let's play this because we played a wrestling theme instead of a TV theme. But his birthday is today. He turned 78 years old. The man behind Seinfeld and the man behind Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David. Sedano and Kap continues your Wednesday afternoon right now.
All right. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Feels like my co-host's life on this show when he's here. Scott Kaplan, not here today. Beto Duran doing a great job.
It's good stuff right here, man. All day long, good stuff. Bobby Marks was excellent.
We've had a lot of great guests today. Bobby Marks was just in studio for the last 30 minutes. We had my guy Tom Haberstroh to give us a numbers, objective analytics assessment of Deandre Ayton's game. We had Jason Quick on, who did the most recent story on Deandre Ayton's exit from Portland for The Athletic. And now we're joined by my brother from another mother, the Hall of Famer, Mark Spears of Anscape and ESPN. We had to save the best for last. You know what I'm saying? The Hall of Famer, Mark Spears.
Man, let Bobby know. Let Bobby Marks know that.
All right, so Dame, you've been all over this with Dame. And, how would you describe his reaction to how it all transpired? He was waived and stretched in Milwaukee. What would you say his reaction was?
From Brookfield, Oakland, and they have this dance. You got to look it up. He's really good at it. It's called the Brookfield dance. And trust me, when he found this out, when he figured it out, doing the Brookfield dance, ecstatic.
Right.
I mean, think about it. Like, what if somebody's, basically told you, we're gonna let you out your contract 2 years early, and we're gonna pay you everything, and we know you didn't want to be here in the first place, and your kids live in another city, so you could rehab in the same town that your kids are till you get better. And by the way, why don't you go pick where you want to play? Because you didn't get to choose it before, but now you can for the first time in your career. I think that's pretty good news. That's exciting news. And from what I understand, obviously Bucks didn't call, but every team, with the exception of maybe one in the league, had interest in him. It's something where he and his agent Aaron Goodwin are going to take their time. Obviously the Lakers are interested. The Clippers have shown interest, but so did 27 other teams or 26 other teams. So there's no reason to rush. It's not like he's going to get some max money. He's already getting big money, and he can sit here, watch the landscape, see where the dust settles, and then figure out what's the best place for him.
So, you mentioned the Lakers reached out, but before I get to that, what are we looking at as far as a timeline for Dame and a potential return?
Excuse me. Might sound crazy, but
okay, you broke up. You were a little we could barely hear what you said. What did you say?
The All-Star break.
Okay.
All-Star break.
That seems early considering the injury happened in April. No? I mean, it's 9-10 months or whatever it is.
That's what I said.
I know you said what you said. I'm just telling you. That seems
early.
early.
A question.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what I'm hearing.
Okay.
All right, so
have you so this dude is like, the way he works out is just different, man. he's the greatest workout I've ever seen prior to NBA draft was him at a small college in Oakland. You can find it on YouTube. It's been viewed like 3 million times. It's really incredible. And so his work ethic is not second to many. And so from what I hear, he's ahead of schedule. And, All-Star break is a real target.
All right, so he's going to be 36 years old by the time he comes back. And you said that the workout is fantastic. He's always in the right spot. How much does he really bring to a team? Let's just say a team like the Lakers. Would he fit in well there?
I don't know that the Lakers are a good fit. I think for Dame, what's important is to have the ball in his hands, which I think was perhaps part of maybe some of the frustration in Milwaukee. He used to having the ball in his hands, and he wouldn't in LA, right? But that being said, you have him as a perimeter weapon next to Luka. Just imagine how those two could stretch the floor, make it easier on LeBron, make it easier on Ayton. I think they certainly can be done all dynamic together. But, I think Minnesota, Golden State, Houston might be a little higher on this list.
All right, so you had a top 5 list that the number one kind of surprised us, right, on TV today. Let's roll through those 5. Give them to me backwards to from 5 to 1.
Well, I did give you a wild card.
You did.
And the wild card was Portland, which sounds lunatic, right? But he basically, that's his home. That's where his kids are. If he just wanted to be kind of a rehab circumstance with not a lot of pressure for the next year or two, that's something in his pocket. He's improved his relationship with the franchise since he departed. Number 5, Boston Celtics. That one is an interesting one because he does have a tight relationship with Jason Tatum. Celtics had interest in him before, and he was more interested in Miami at that time. But, in Tatum, you could find a brother in Achilles rehab. So keep an eye on that, because if he went to Boston, obviously next season's probably a wash. But if you got a healthy Tatum, a healthy Dame, Jalen, Derek White, Pritchard, that's a scary team. And they're back in business in the Eastern Conference. Keep that in mind. Then, we talked about the Lakers. I had them at 4. 3, I had the Houston Rockets. Certainly a lot of talent there. How does he fit in when they got Fred VanVleet and Amen Thompson? And, they got a lot of guards in Houston. I could see the interest in going to Houston based on them being projected as a very successful team. I just don't know that it's a good fit. The thing with Golden State, which I had at number 2, Dame's from the Bay, from Oakland, obviously. Dad used to have season tickets to Warriors games. According to him, he used to sneak into the media room and get sodas at halftime. I don't remember this. Maybe I thought he was a player's kid. I've been around him long enough to be around when that happened. But his family quietly are Warriors fans. His agent, I think he has Warriors season tickets. Dame has talked to him about what it would be like to play at home. It's got to be a really, really intriguing opportunity for them to put that uniform on. So I think the Warriors are a real, real team to look at. But I think from a fit standpoint, number 1, Minnesota, it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that one I did not see coming, and the reaction for all of us on TV, me, Bobby Ramona, and Windhorse, when Mark said that on TV was like, "Whoa, wait a second!" And it does
the top 1,
and it does make a ton of sense. Actually, go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah, so you're talking about an Adidas mate in the backcourt, 2 guys that can stretch the floor. Mike Conley is an aging point guard. Their other point guard was a rookie last year. So if you had Dame at point, they certainly take it to the next level. This is a team that went to the Western Conference, and I think is missing somebody like Dame that could hit the big shots, make it easier on Anthony Edwards, show some leadership. I also think from a competitive standpoint and a mentality standpoint, adds an adult to the room that's not scared to hold accountable and push him to take his game to the next level. And so, to me, that's an intriguing one as well.
Well, and here's what I would add.
And show up mid-season.
Here's what I would add, Mark. I would add that Dame has never been the greatest defender, period. As great as he is offensively, he's one of the best shooters we've ever seen. Defensively, at this stage of his career, coming off an Achilles, he'd be going to a team that's an incredible defensive team, right? Like you've got a lot of long guys who can cover a lot of ground, and a backcourt mate who is an elite level defender as well when he puts his mind to it, for sure.
Yeah, you have Rudy Gobert back there. That cures a lot of problems, right? Julius Randle's picked it up defensively. They got some talent on that team. So it's he has a first world problem.
Yeah, for sure. And
then he wants to go. Like whenever are you going to have that opportunity where money really doesn't matter because you're getting paid somewhere else?
Right.
So you're truly in a situation where you're picking the place that's the best fit.
Yeah, and it's a great fit too because they need what they desperately need is a secondary offensive threat beyond Anthony Edwards, right? That actually frees up Edwards even more. Mark Spears, the Hall of Famer, Anscape and ESPN. Thank you for taking the time. I know you just landed from L.A. not too long ago.
No DeAndre Ayton questions, man.
Okay, go. Go. I had to run.
Do you like it?
What do you make of the signing? Go ahead, because I got to run here in a minute, but I'll let you go. Go ahead. I wanted to talk Dame with you, but go ahead.
No, that's the kid I know him. Been to the Bahamas and know him really, really well.
You wrote a feature on him a year or two ago, right?
I've written several.
My bad.
Hall of Famer.
My bad.
I really think that guy that has to have his locker next to LeBron James. I think LeBron James needs to push him to get the best out of him. Because if you could get the best out of him, all-star caliber center, he could do everything. What's been questioned is his motivation. How much does he love the game?
Mm-hmm.
Does he have the laid-back Bahamian attitude to it? And also Michael Thompson being there, as odd as it might sound, he's somebody that's going to be in his ear and keep it real with him.
Man, Michael Thompson eating potato chips during the broadcast. What are you talking about?
Michael's not leaving a spot.
But you know how he Joe Jackson Clay though. I can see him. My point is, I think that the LeBrons of the world, the Michael Thompsons of the world, they're going to have to push him. JJ obviously will to get the best out of him, and DA has to know that these are the brightest of lights. Everything he does is going to be watched stronger than. I bet you Luka can tell you that now. Like the lights are brighter now than ever before. So if DA steps up and plays the way he's capable of playing, that's a scary big three.
You're way higher on him than I am, but we'll just leave it at that. Well, you and I had this conversation off the air, so you know how I feel already. So anyway, the Hall of Famer,
the talent is there.
No question, I agree with that.
It's up to the Lakers to make sure that talent is there on a daily basis.
How about it's up to him too?
Yeah, no question.
Okay,
you're right.
All right, fair enough. I love you, my brother. Thank you so much. The Hall of Famer, Mark
Beto.
Yes.
All right, brother. Love you.
Beto, where did son go to school?
I'll text you. We're still trying to figure that out. He
might
be in Boston.
He may be in the portal.
He might be in Boston. Well, I'll let you know.
Go to Boston.
Let's go.
All right, brother. Love you. Be good.
Yeah. My dude took care of me when I first started off, man.
Yep,
Real
Mark
nice
Spears.
guy. I was scared out of my mind. He took care of me.
Excellent. Oh, great dude. Hall of Fame person, Hall of Fame writer for sure.
He used to cover the Angels for the Daily News.
Back in the day. There you go. Yeah. Hey, real quick, before we get to dealer's choice for Beto, Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. You need flooring? It's very simple. The crazy Hernandez brothers will take care of you. Call them at 866-62-FLOOR. Look, they are a family-owned business. We are a family here, even the mongrels, okay? You need flooring? They're part of our family. They're now part of your family. That's how this works. Call them at 866-62-FLOOR. So whether it's for your home, a rental, even an ADU, they'll take care of you. I mentioned legitimately family run. You get that authentic old school TLC, wholesale pricing year round. Papi Hernandez started it 57 years ago, okay? 57 years ago. The crazy Hernandez brothers are there. Mom's there. The aunts, the uncles, the nephews, the cousins, the sisters, the brothers, the nieces, whatever. They're all there. No bogus sales, no gimmicks, just the best price from the start, and that's why I say it. I mean it. No sale beats wholesale. So whether it's hardwood, laminate, tile, vinyl, carpet, you name it, they got it. Over 5 million square feet of in-stock inventory. You can see it, touch it, take it home with you on the same day, and that's huge, especially when trying to finish a project fast. It's why designers, contractors, builders all shop here. They know the crazy Hernandez brothers are always going to take care of you. And check this out. First responders, active military, veterans, all receive additional discounts on top of the already low prices. And if you find a better price, which I doubt, Hernandez will match it, no questions asked. So head down to Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, 2 locations, Commerce, Santa Ana. Call them at 866-62-FLOOR. That's 866-62-FLOOR. No games, no gimmicks, just the best price in town year-round because no sale beats wholesale, homeboy. Check them out on the web, HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net, or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
Waba Grill is an LA original, so we've got to keep it real. Real fresh with our Asian-inspired menu that's grilled to order every time.
Take me up and never put me down.
Real quality with our marinated proteins like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium beverage drink like our creamy and delicious Thai tea. Waba Grill, keeping it real every day for you.
Your friends at George Chevrolet want to wish you a safe and happy holiday this 4th of July. There's no better way to celebrate than behind the wheel of a new Chevy. Happy Independence Day from George Chevrolet, proudly serving our community in the red, white, and blue.
Pack your summer with awe and awesome at SeaWorld San Diego. Get real close to over 9,000 animals. Discover the all-new Jewels of the Sea, the Jellyfish Experience. Race at unreal speeds across 16,000 feet of coaster track. Make summer spectacular with stunt shows, star-studded concerts, fireworks, and the reimagined Journey to Atlantis. Now through September 1st, visit SeaWorldSanDiego.com to save up to 55% on tickets, fun cards, and passes during the 4th of July sale. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Oh my God, is this your house?
This is the humble abode.
Oh my God, it's so humble.
FX presents Adults.
You don't know your social security number?
No, I do. It's just my mom, knows the whole thing. A new comedy about 20-somethings achieving zero anythings.
What is the worst that happens? I go broke. I can't pay my loans. I start an OnlyFans, but only you guys subscribe.
I can't do OnlyFans.
Yeah, you wouldn't make it on there, so sorry.
FX's Adults. Wednesdays on FX. All episodes streaming on Hulu.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Capture Wednesday afternoon. Final segment, that's our final segment music. The Seller's Advantage Real Deal, Dealer's Choice with Beto in just a moment. Have a great night, would you? 4th of July week, Beto Duran week, Deandre Ayton week. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for the 3rd of July. Have a great night. Sedano Kap, final segment, your Wednesday afternoon right now.
Bam, Jack! Hit that. What a show. What a show. Sedano hosting Sedano booking, Sedano guesting, Sedano answering his own questions, Sedano in the chat moderating.
Oh, the caffeine's wearing off, though. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought that it would start wearing off around like 5, so you've gone a little longer than I expected.
I thought he was going to crash.
Yeah, that's what me and Punch were saying.
It's been a long day. I've been up. I've been working since 7 a.m. Anyway, real quick, Dealer's Choice Real Deal brought to you by Seller's Advantage. Want to sell your home before you call an agent? Call Seller's Advantage. They'll buy it as is with a competitive cash offer. No repairs needed. They'll make selling easy. Call 888-390-AS-IS for a no-obligation offer. Visit sellersadvantage.com as well. Beto.
Let's go.
What do you got?
All right, so I just want to send a shout out to a couple of friends of mine. They're doing great independent journalism for a lot of the stuff that's going on in Southern California. Nick Valencia is my homie, big fan of the station, good dude. He used to work for CNN. Got laid off by CNN, and he said, you know what, I'm going to go on my own.
I didn't know Nick Valencia got laid off by CNN.
Yeah, so his contract was renewed. They laid him off, and he said, you know what,
his work,
instead of feeling sorry for myself, I'm going to open up my Substack. So he's been in L.A. covering...
Substack has been a huge thing for people to create revenue streams, for sure.
So he's been in L.A. covering a lot of what's going on in Los Angeles.
We should do the Mongrel Substack.
Oh, the Mongrel Substack. Nah, these fools won't pay. But Nick Valencia News is where you want to follow him. My dude is USC alum from Eagle Rock, does a lot of great work, so go support independent journalism. And also, El Dragón de Los Angeles, Memo Torres, who works for L.A. Taco every single day. He's giving you an update on what's going on
LA Taco,
in Los
man.
Angeles. They do great work.
Love that stuff.
Great independent journalism. So support LA Taco, support my boy Nick Valencia News. And second thing, well, you see the baseball glove. We're about 10 days away.
Oh, yeah.
We're about 10 days away.
Who's going to practice today?
Me, DeAndre, and...
Where are you practicing?
Well, we couldn't find
you tell me off air if you want.
No, I'll tell you. We're going to go right next to Loyola High. There's a park.
Okay.
Funch is not invited because he's going to be a little scared.
What happened, Funch?
I'm going to be there. I brought my glove. I bought my gear. I bought my shoes.
Okay. All right, Funch will be there.
Told my
Let
wife.
me know if you do anything Friday. On July 4th. I don't know if you're doing anything.
I'll hit you up.
I mean, the only thing I was going to do on July 4th anyway was clean out my garage. So
I will let you know.
And then grill later, but like in the daytime.
All right, so we're going to Sedano's house to grill at night, and then we got batting practice in the morning.
Yeah, some steaks, maybe some steaks.
Yeah, so DeAndre and Funchy are ready to go. And also, Kasim, I gave him this glove. He's going to use it.
Oh.
And Kasim,
that thing's worked in good.
It's worked nice and ready to go.
Oh, my God. That's soft.
Kasim had never put a glove on.
Never?
Never,
Ooh.
but we got video of him
Whose team
robbing
is he on?
home runs.
Oh, Cappy's. Okay.
He ain't ready.
He ain't ready.
He ain't
but
ready
we're
to
going to get
ball.
him.
Stay ready.
So we're ready to go. So that's the dealer choice. Next week is the All-Star game. I won't be here, but Kasim, Funchy, and DeAndre are going to be so ready.
What are you doing for 4th of July, Beto?
4th of July, nothing. Just chilling. Stay inside because I'm going to go to my mom's house and the neighbors. What up, Oscar? What up, Nacho? Let's just say they've had 4th of July for 2 weeks already. These dudes get out of control.
I love that.
There's actually a block party on my mom's street, and it ends right at my mom's house. We haven't signed the permit waiver and all that good stuff. And I park right there, and I see everybody that I grew up with on the street. Shout out to everybody on Shear Avenue, and you see them, and like Juanito and Chewy and everybody else come by. I see their parents.
El Gordo Chunky?
No, El Gordo Chunky stays in Pico Rivera, but he always puts on a great thing. So that's what I'm doing, just hanging out.
Excellent. Excellent stuff.
Yeah, so have yourself a great holiday, everybody. I think Ramona's in tomorrow.
Yeah, Ramona's in tomorrow. Momo's in tomorrow. Some more ball knowers talk tomorrow. Last day of ball knowers talk until we know anything else via free agency. Cappy will be back the following week. So.
Oh, he also. Let me tell you this. Cappy booked me on the Cappy Cast today.
He worked the Cappy Cast
No,
this week?
he didn't. He did not work it.
So he booked you and you weren't even on?
He booked
And
me,
he wasn't on?
And he wasn't on.
Oh, my God.
I get done with the show and his
That is the most Cappy move of Cappy
Oh, no,
moves.
but wait, there's more.
Wait.
As soon as I get done, I get a text. Great job.
He's watching.
Oh, my God.
And I told Beto, I was like, look, I looked this morning and Cappy did a quote to me. He was like, oh, I'm so happy. Beto did a great job today on the Cappy Cast.
So he's watching. Just do your damn show. Yeah. He's on vacation. What a guy.
Cappy's a strange bird, man.
Super strange.
It's part of why we love him.
Yes, it is.
What's on after us? ESPN Radio? All righty. Awesome stuff. All right, we're done here. Excellent work, Beto. Thank you for this week.
Thank you. Have a great holiday.
Excellent work. Thank you to all our guests, Jason Quick, Tom Haberstroh, Mark Spears, and Bobby Marks. Great job, DeAndre, Lindsay, Funchy, Jonathan, Parker, Anthony, all the guys in the back, the COT, even the Monk.